Hello, and welcome to the Mild and Lazy Guys podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Matt.
And I'm Andrew.
And we are back. Not near as long as last time.
No,
we're getting better. I'm getting better, I should say. We're back. So, tell me, what's been going on? Catch me up on what's been going on in your world.
Well, we went to a show recently.
I went to a show too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What did you see?
Between the Buried and Me. I'll talk about it.
Mine's a lot different. We went and saw Jose Gonzalez. It was a one-man show with an acoustic guitar.
You told me about that.
But it was really cool. It was at the Majestic downtown. Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh god, it was very nice. It's like an old theater, so there's like suites, or not suites, but you know, like what Lincoln got shot in,
like balconies.
Yeah. And we were like, we didn't get a balcony because there were only like two, one on each side.
Right.
But we were in the like top tier, first row. Got there a little late. Which sucks because he only played his Veneer album, which is like 30 minutes. So he plays that and he kind of stretches out to 40. And then he kind of like, you know, waves off. But he comes back and he's like, yeah, if I had only played 40 minutes, he's like, that'd be pretty weird. Like, you know, promoters really like you to stretch it out to about 75, 90 minutes. So he did a few covers. He had a Joy Division cover. And then he played some of his older stuff. It was really cool. That was last Sunday. But the Majestic, you got to go there. It's in like the heart of downtown too, which is really nice. We went camping the week before that. So my dad has like I don't know how big of a RV it is, but you know, like a legit, like sleep 6 RV.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's an RV. It's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he just parked it there for us and let us like just come take it over for the weekend.
Oh, so it was just your family.
Yeah. It was just me, Claire and the kids. Nice. Saturday it did rain all day. So luckily we were at, Bardwell, which is basically an Ennis where my parents live. So I was like, hey, we're going to come over. We just came over and hung out. And then we went bowling. And went and then we left Owen there because we're like, yeah, he's not really.
You left him in the RV while y'all did that. That's cool.
Maybe
he's pretty independent for his age.
He's getting there. He thinks he's independent.
I see pictures on Facebook because we don't, for the two listeners, we don't record at Andrew's anymore. We record at my house, so I don't go over to your house hardly anymore. So I see pictures of him on Facebook. Kid's getting big.
Yeah,
he's
pretty feral.
He might have like an outside linebacker, not
great.
A middle linebacker, maybe even like a nickel corner on your hands there.
The next Cooper DeJean plays secondary.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, Breaking he broke barriers. The color barrier. Owen's just following in those footsteps.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you bump my mic up just a tad?
Oh, that's more than a tad.
Bump mine? Yeah, you can bump mine.
Even more?
No, I'm one.
You're one?
Yeah. Bump mine up and then yours. No. Go down just a little. Just a little audio engineering on the fly here. I think we're good now.
We're good.
So camping in the RV?
Camping, and then like the week before that, loyal listener Troy texted me, and we went up to Arlington to meet up with Ryan, Ben, and Chris, who are on the league. So we had like almost half the league there, and we just watched a game at a bar.
Oh, well, my number must have been lost. That makes me feel really bad.
I guess I shouldn't have brought that up. I didn't think about you getting left out there.
Super bad, but okay. Anyway, moving on.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Thanks, Troy. You're moving down the Christmas card list, buddy. So, anything else other than having fun with all our friends?
Nope, just making secret alliances with the boys.
Well, me and Lauren had our 10-year wedding anniversary last week.
Ooh, I was going to hit that button. I think it's a fart button. I'm not going to do it.
Do a fart.
That's the one I wanted.
Yeah. So 10 years, we didn't do anything. We hung out here.
Y'all didn't have like a nice dinner?
We went to dinner. We went to Roadhouse, but we had Landry. We're gonna do something, but it was a Friday. We had both worked.
Texas Roadhouse or Logan's Roadhouse?
Fuck. No, not Logan's.
Okay, I was gonna say that is the worst steakhouse. That place
my money. I haven't been there in probably 2 or 3 years, and I'll never go back.
I'm never going back. It's the worst.
As much as I like steak, and I would love to not have to leave Ellis County to get a good steak.
Yeah, right.
Never go.
You have to go to Texas Roadhouse. They got that sweet butter.
Oh
my god, we went through legitimately 4 baskets when we were there.
Yeah, I tried to take some home to see if I couldn't get some action. after
with the butter.
Nice. But no, it didn't work. So yeah, we're gonna do something. I think we want to try to do like maybe like a WinStar weekend.
Oh, that's
just
nice.
me and her go.
We always talk about, not me and Lauren always talk about that, but me and my wife always talk about that because that really is like what, 2 hours away?
An hour and a half, yeah, 2
hour and a half,
something like that, yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna do something, but yeah, we didn't do anything.
Well, if you waited another month, Landry will be out of school.
Yeah,
you can get like a grandma to watch them.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
And then I went to a show. I went with my brother and Ryan. Excuse me. We went to go see Between the Buried and Me. It was the 20th anniversary of their Colors.
Dude, we're getting so old. All these albums that came out in high school are having 20-year tours.
And the lead singer, he looked fucking old. Like he was all gray. He had a gray beard. He looked like a wizard. Gray beard.
I was just thinking that.
Gray long hair, but and it was the first night of the tour. And
that's cool. Kicked off here.
And so they played Colors 1 all the way through, and it was fucking so good, and he was good. The band was good. It was a good time. So I'm old. I was in the back the entire time. I don't remember shows being that loud.
You sound really old right now.
I don't remember them being that crowded. And at one point, I looked over at Ben. I was like, "Hey, was it always like this?" Because like, there's no personal space. Like, if you need to get through somewhere, and it was at Trees, which Trees is. It was so cool to go back to Trees. Like, I hadn't been there in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
It's just a historic venue. I'm sure you've been there a few times.
We saw a pin back there last time.
Nice. But yeah, it was just, I think they oversold the show too. And there were just so many people. And like, if you wanted to get somewhere, like, I think etiquette is just to like, just go. Like, just shoulder through people.
Oh, yeah. Because they can't hear, even if you're being polite, they can't hear you.
I couldn't do it. I'm like, I'll just hang back. Yeah, I don't remember it being that crowded. I don't remember it being that loud. So yeah, but it was really good. It was really, really good, and I got the bug again. So I started like looking at different shows and like seeing who's coming, and like you said, like a lot of the bands that we grew up listening to, now they're coming back around with anniversary tours of albums. I think Under Oath is coming through soon, and it's like the 20th anniversary of They're Only Chasing Safety. So,
oh man, I'm going to that.
Yeah, dude. So they're coming through, and then there's other bands that I just started looking, and I got the bug again. But it was a good night.
Just to piggyback off that, I'm at the point where I'm old enough. If I go to a show, I really want to have a seat, or I'm going to sit on the lawn.
Yeah. Trees, you really couldn't do that unless you got like and
hang your feet
level.
over.
Yeah, or they got chairs up there now. But yeah,
I want to sit down.
Yeah. I found my legs were starting to go a little bit.
That Jose Gonzalez show was the most chill show because, like I said, it's one man with an acoustic. I mean, I felt dangerous taking a picture because nobody was doing anything. It was just like complete respect to the artist.
Right.
No, all it was clapping. There was no like hollering. It was wait till he's done performing a song and silently clap.
Right.
So I was like, it's kind of my kind of crowd.
Yeah. No, it was really good. But yeah, no, that's really all I've done.
Let's go to a show.
Dude, I want to go. Yeah.
Neil Young's coming with Crazy Horse.
Oh, nice. That'd be a
Claire
good
and I are going to go to that.
Where's he playing at?
I want to say like Dos Equis, which has a nice lawn.
Yeah.
That's where we saw Dave Matthews, where we took Ellie for her first show last year. But yeah, I'm stoked about what we just said, like bands are doing 20-year album releases and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah. I'd like to go. I was trying to think of bands like you got me into or like we both like. I'd like to go see Glass Animals would be cool.
Yeah. They'll probably play like American Airlines Center though. That's going to be a big show.
Or another one I'd like to see is like MGMT.
I'd love to see MGMT.
Yeah,
we were going to see Tame Impala, and then 2020 happened because he was coming to American Airlines Day.
Oh, was he?
And like tickets were insane, but I'm like, I don't care where they're at. The sound's going to be nice, and I don't have to be able to like see, like how he's sweating on the stage. Like I'm fine with like upper deck, just chilling.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, we wanted to go to. I think I showed them to you. I don't think they were your cup of tea, but there's a band called Sleep Token.
I don't know who that is.
They're relatively like newer. Like they're not new. They've been around a while, but they're just now blowing up. But they were playing at Toyota Music Factory in Irving or whatever.
I always saw Bill Burr there.
And Ben was on he was in the queue when tickets dropped, and they just went.
That's a pretty big place too.
Yeah, they just went
quick.
And then the resale market started hitting, and they're like $200. I was like,
Resale market, man.
I want to see them, but I'm not dropping. Like, there's very few bands I would drop $200 on like, nowadays.
Well, and I would do it for Neil Young, and I told Claire, I was like, I don't know how many tours he's got left in him.
Right. Yeah.
Something like that.
And I know, like, back, I think it was like the second show ever at AT&T Stadium. We went with our dad to see McCartney, like Paul McCartney, that. Like,
that's a big deal.
We dropped money on that, but that was like Paul McCartney,
he's not going to do this much often. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I definitely got the bug. So I'm like looking. I don't even know like where to see like tour dates anymore. So I just like Google the band.
I use Spotify. If you like somebody, lots of times it'll just show like what their concert situation's coming up.
Yeah. So no, it was good. We met Ryan there. Like I said, Chris from the league was there.
Random Ryan and Chris. Shout outs.
Ben had three tickets. You know, he had one, and then he had one for me, and then he had another one, and so we went with Ryan, and Chris was there too, so we got to see Chris for a little bit.
Well, Chris, if you ever hear this, how's it going?
Yeah, no, I drank a few beers and a little bit, so it was a good night. It was a good night. I forgot how much I hate leaving Deep Ellum at 11 at night.
That's another thing. I made Claire drive us there and drive us back because I am not fucking driving to Dallas. I hate that shit. And, well, also because Claire's a terrible navigator. Like, she will
put her in charge.
No, I'm in charge of navigation.
Oh, you're in
She's
charge?
driving because I'm like, all right, I keep up to date, like, all directions on this.
Gotcha.
She'll make me miss every exit, every turn. I'm like, well, I don't know where the fuck I am now. And I've been living in south of Dallas for a whole 36 years, and I still don't like driving there, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't like the parking situation. I think I paid like $23 to park.
That's another thing that piggyback. That was one of my hills to die on. So we paid public parking, but it just means you have to pay to park there. So I paid $28, and I could have had that spot for 12 hours. Yeah. I said, this is a 90-minute show. I should pay like $9, but you have to pay a whole fee. But what was cool, so you get a little ticket, you know, and you put on your dash. Well, apparently one guy thought he could beat the system. So when we came out, his car was getting towed. Yep. And I told Claire, I said, when they know events are going on like that, they will make sure you have those tickets in your dash. And if they don't, they have someone on speed dial to call. He had his hands on his hips, or he was crossing his arms, just pacing back and forth.
Well, you're done.
Yeah, so you should have just
See, and I kind of wanted to do the math because I forget who I was talking to, but I was talking to him about going to shows in Dallas, and they said I think it was Brittaker. I was talking to him, and I think he was talking about what Chris does is like, I think his company pays for like Uber rides.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so he Ubers in one way, and I think they cover it, and then he just has to pay for one Uber back.
Like the whole way to his house, or he just parks somewhere.
No, I don't know. I don't remember the
That'd be a pretty cool deal.
Extenuating circumstances, but I wonder what it would be to Uber there and back, and if it would be worth it just for the peace of mind.
I think it would be worth it because then you could drink. I mean, not like get hammered, but have a few drinks.
It was dude. The last time we saw BT Bam, this was almost 10 years ago because Landry was really little. It was in Houston. It was me, Ben, and Ryan, and we were fucking hammered.
Yeah,
hammered drunk. Ben got denied going into a bar after the show. There was a bar across the street, and you leave the show, and like it's just literally across the street, and so there's a door guy there, and like it was me, then Ryan, then Ben. I go in, he's like, all right, you're good. Ryan's right behind me. You're good. And I just happened to turn around, and he took one look at Ben and goes, nope. So he denied him entry, and we ended up going somewhere else. But yeah.
He got into a separate bar?
Yeah, we went to another bar. They let him in.
They don't care.
And they served him shots.
Jesus. Y'all didn't drive back from Houston, though, right?
No,
y'all stayed?
Yeah, we had a note. That would be a we woke up the next morning, and there was just like food containers everywhere, and nobody remembered what happened. It was a good time. Until we woke up, and it fucking hurt really bad.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I can only do that like at draft night.
Yeah.
And like maybe a couple times during the year.
Yeah, like that show, I had 3 beers, and I was hurting. Like I was.
You told me about the next day. Like I'm really feeling those 3 beers.
Yeah, like it's. But there's a friend of Landry's. His dad is in his 50s, and he said it's weird. Like he turned 50 and he just stopped getting hangovers. So I'm hoping that's like, true for me. Yeah. He's like, in my 30s and 40s, oh, yeah, I'd drink 2 or 3, 4 beers, and I'd be feeling like shit the next day. He's like, day I turned 50, for whatever reason, he's like, I stopped getting hangovers. He's like, I could drink you under the table right now, and I'll wake up tomorrow ready to go. I was like, I hope that's my case, because they hurt.
I think I might drink tomorrow.
Oh,
I was
yeah?
thinking about it. I'm gonna go by my parents' house and there's a liquor store nearby. I was like, I want to get drunk and watch Star Wars. It's
Hell
May
yeah.
4th tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
May
and I've
4th.
been talking to Claire and Ellie, and they're like basically like calling me a shut up nerd. I'm like,
up,
so which
nerd.
one are we gonna watch? We're gonna start with the Phantom Menace at the
Right.
beginning.
Are we doing
You want to jump right
chronological?
into A New Hope? Like, what are
Yeah.
we doing here? And they're like, just I'm basically like back in high school
Shut up,
trying
nerd.
to talk to girls. I'm like, all right, well, I might just go buy a bottle and I'll fucking watch the first 3 episodes by myself then.
That's funny. Yeah, that's all I've been doing, man. You want to get into
Yeah, if I can remember what button it is. I think
stories?
it's this green one.
I think so.
No.
Nope.
God damn it.
I think it's the white one.
There's no white one.
Oh, what is that?
It's
Pink?
yellow? I think that's what she said. I think it's this one.
Yeah. See, that's the one I was talking about.
That's like a coral blue.
Well, it's like I'm colorblind, so whatever.
Really?
Yeah, not like a dog, like not black and white.
Wow, I didn't know this.
It's like shades, like red, like blues and purples fuck me up. Like I'll see something that's blue and I'll be like, oh, give me that purple thing. They're like, idiot, that's fucking blue. I'm like, oh,
That's why you're not a fighter pilot.
or a cop.
That's it.
Yeah.
Other than that, you'd be defending freedom right now.
Fucking A, brother. All right, first news story. Let's talk about weed.
All right.
So, the drug scheduling, I guess it's like 1, 2, 3. 1 being like the most dangerous fucked up drugs ever. That's where marijuana was.
Yeah.
Forever.
Right there between heroin and meth, we got marijuana.
Yeah. So, this comes from KERA, like right here in Dallas. It says scientists welcome new rules on marijuana, but research will still face obstacles. As the Biden administration moves to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug, the scientist says the change will lift some of the restrictions on studying the drug, but the change won't lift all restrictions. They say neither will it decrease the potential risk of the drug or help users better understand what those risks are. Marijuana is currently classified as a Schedule 1 controlled substance, which is defined as a substance with no accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse.
Child, please.
Which is, yeah, you tell them, Ocho. It's horseshit. We all know that.
I mean, they have medical marijuana in like 38 states.
It has medical in the name.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no denying that. Checkmate.
So, yeah, the Biden administration proposed this week to classify cannabis as a Schedule 3 controlled substance, a category that acknowledges it has some medical benefits.
I like how it's an election year and they do this too. That fool's been in office 4 years. He's like, I need to get some of those votes.
I don't know, man. Isn't it a little too late? Like trying to throw things to save your presidency at this point?
This is the worst election since like after Lincoln was assassinated.
Jesus, after a death. This is the worst.
For real. Well, you know what? I guess after that we got Grant. That was pretty sweet.
See, you're the history guy. You go that far back.
Yeah, man. Lincoln was the first Republican. Grant the second. They started off with 2 bangers.
Well, Lincoln ended it with a banger.
No, that was
What was a bang?
God damn it. What's his name now? John Wilkes Booth ended it with a bang. That's for sure.
So
I was making so many Abraham Lincoln jokes while we were here too. I was like, I should just scream out Sic Sampus Tyrannus and just I was like, what is that? So that's what Booth yelled right before he shot him.
I think like exactly 1.3 people would know what you're talking about if you
Yeah.
scream that.
I said, thus always the tyrants. I said, he got shot right there. She's like, shut the fuck up. Just listen to the show.
Don't say shot.
She's like, don't talk about shooting people in a building. I said, okay.
So it says, what is the Biden administration proposing? The DEA's proposal, which has to be reviewed by the White House Office of Management and Budget, would recognize the medical uses of cannabis, acknowledge it has less potential for abuse, and reclassify cannabis as a Schedule 3 drug. It would not legalize cannabis for recreational use. Womp, womp. So that's cool. So here's a little reason behind why it's a Schedule 1 drug. Recreational cannabis use in the U.S. has been around since the 20th century, as well as movements to regulate its use, according to the National Institute of Health. However, in 1914, the Harrison Narcotics Tax Act was passed, which declared drug use a crime. There have been several laws that discouraged cannabis use and came with harsher penalties for doing so. According to the NIH, California became the first state to make it illegal to possess cannabis in the 1930s.
Really?
So they were the first one to...
Yeah, then they made a complete U-turn
And then
on
I think
that.
they were the first one to go and say are bad.
And then they made billions of dollars for their state.
Right. So, in case you're wondering what Schedule 1 drugs are, marijuana has been listed under the Controlled Substance Act as a Schedule 1 drug alongside heroin, LSD, and ecstasy.
Both LSD and ecstasy though are like getting a lot of push for being like good for like PTSD.
I want to do
and anxiety.
I want to do that therapy.
Yeah, like it really is.
To.
It's like being administered by scientists and doctors
along with mushrooms, of course.
Oh yeah.
Psilocybin.
Well, that's another thing. Like I feel like Christians who want to like bash marijuana and mushrooms. So it's like if God created the earth and God is infallible, and mushrooms and marijuana grow naturally on the earth, you're basically saying God's wrong. Checkmate.
According to the DA, the following are examples of Schedule 1 drugs: heroin, LSD, cannabis, methamphetamine, Quaaludes, and
do they even have Quaaludes anymore? I thought I think they took them all in the 80s.
Methaqualone, and in parentheses is Quaalude, and
I
peyote.
think those are all gone. And I'll do some peyote too.
And then
if we do that at the draft house, we should all take peyote and draft.
Schedule 3 drugs are ketamine, anabolic steroids, testosterone, and products containing less than 90 milligrams of codeine. So it's going to be right up there with like those drugs. So I think we're inching closer to just nationwide, just letting us have it.
Why not? I'm not hurting anybody.
Like you said, the most dangerous part about marijuana is being caught with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very true statement.
And I heard one dude make an argument. I thought that guy had long hair. The way she was leaned over, the referee. Well, we got game 6.
Game 6, Mavericks up. Or I should say they lead the series 3-2. It's only 10-5 right now. We're winning.
I heard a guy make an argument that alcohol is a way bigger gateway drug than marijuana.
Hell yes, it is. And it leads to like could ruin lives and families and like drinking and driving is a serious danger. Whereas I wouldn't advocate getting high and driving, but when I do, I am 10 and 2 o'clock, blinkers on, like eyes on the road. Obviously, because I don't like doing that, and I get really paranoid when I drive. But I'm a very safe driver. Mm-hmm. If anything, I'm going under the speed limit.
Oh, Lauren will tell you. Like when we first got together, she just thought I just drove slow, but she realized soon I was just stoned when I was driving. Mm-hmm. That's why I was driving so slow. Because I'm like you said, I'm a safer driver. I'm just trying to chill. I don't want to go fast and furious mode.
No.
I'm just trying to listen to some music and get to where I'm going.
Yeah.
If you're curious about some counties and municipalities here in Texas that have decriminalized cannabis, the city of Austin, Bayard County, the city of Cedar Park, Dallas County, and the city of Dallas, Denton County, Elgin County, Harker Heights, Harris County, Hayes County, Killeen.
Those are all the major cities and counties.
Plano County, San Marcos, Travis County, and Williamson County.
So that's on a local, it's on a state level that we can decriminalize?
You can decriminalize. So they're going to give you just
a ticket.
Yeah.
I remember when Dallas did that, and they were like, you could have up to a quarter of a pound. I'm like, I'll never have that much on me, but that's good to know.
Yeah, I'll never have a QP on me.
Yeah.
Never.
I like the idea of making it legal to grow, but just not sell. Yeah. That way, if you want to make a plant for yourself.
I think in Colorado, you can have 6 plants. And
for personal use.
For personal use at your house, yeah. And
I think you can brew your own beer.
And I think California is 4 10 plants or something like that. Yeah, so that's good news for marijuana and their users.
Yeah, well, congratulations to drugs for winning the war on drugs.
Yeah, they're undefeated. You want to talk conspiracy?
Always.
All right, so have you heard all the Boeing shit that's going down, like the whistleblowers?
Yep.
So Boeing basically is really unsafe. They're airplanes. And
I've been saying that for years.
There was a couple dudes
airplanes
that were trying to blow the whistle and say, hey, they know that they're cutting corners. They know that,
and they're cutting corners specifically just to line their pockets with more money.
Yeah.
They're still making record profits. And I told you they get a lot of government subsidies and grants, and it's they're getting money from the government to make these planes safer, and they're just saying, thanks for the fucking money, you idiot. And just cutting every corner they can, knowingly.
So this is from the New York Post. Headline reads, second Boeing whistleblower Joshua Dean dies suddenly from a mysterious severe infection.
And this must have been pretty recent, because the other guy was 2 months ago.
Yesterday.
Wow.
I don't know when it'll tell us here, but this article was written yesterday. A Boeing whistleblower who raised concerns about one of the carrier's suppliers ignoring production defects died suddenly on Tuesday, just 2 months after another employee who sounded the alarm about the embattled company died by alleged suicide. Joshua Dean, 45, a former quality auditor at Spirit Aerosystems, died Tuesday morning from a fast-growing mystery infection, the Seattle Times reported. Dean of Wichita, Kansas, had reportedly been in good health until about 2 weeks ago when he was admitted to the hospital. And they show a picture of him, and he's a fit dude. I mean, he's 45, but he's trim. Looks like he hits the gym. Sorry, my eye is fucking watering. I can't see. However, by April 21st, he was in very critical condition and had tested positive for influenza B, MRSA, and pneumonia. So, like, how do you contract all three of those terrible things all at once? He was intubated and put on dialysis before eventually being airlifted to another hospital in Oklahoma City. A CT scan indicated that he also had suffered a stroke. So they injected him with.
Yeah,
they got him with something.
I mean, what's scary is didn't Kim Jong-un did something like that to his brother in an airport. When you're in a public space like that, someone can just walk by real quick with a needle prick and just tap you with something.
That, and I think they can aerosol.
Yeah, that's what he did. He sprayed something in his face for Kim Jong-un's brother, and sprayed him in the face. And within an hour, he was already dead. Like within minutes, he was feeling the effects of it. That's a weird. Have you heard that whole story? They got these two girls, and they told them it was a prank TV show.
Yeah. And
so they were willing participants, but didn't know what was going on. They thought they were just getting this guy with a goof. So they were legitimately where they were terrified when they found out that they killed this guy.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was for a prank show. But yeah, if you're in a big place like that, or they could drop something in your drink. I mean, CIA's been murking people for 80 years.
And the Russians like doing that too.
They probably learned it from the Russians.
The Russians like doing that.
The only
too.
one who's undefeated is Fidel Castro.
Quote: "He's in the worst condition I've ever seen, or he's in the worst condition I've ever known or heard of. Even the hospital agrees." His sister-in-law, Kristen Dean, wrote on Facebook.
And the fact that it happened so quick, there's no way that was a natural cause death.
No, they fucking killed him.
They killed him because he spoke the truth.
Dean had raised the alarm about the defects while working at Spirit Aerosystems, a Kansas-based company which manufactures aircraft parts for Boeing in 2022. Less than a year later, he was fired. So he blew the whistle. He said, hey, some fucked up shit's going on. So they fucking fired him.
And I know you probably don't know this, but does Boeing make all the airplanes, at least that we use here in America?
Yeah, because you hear...
So if it doesn't matter if you fly Southwest or Spirit or Delta, they're all flying Boeings. Or am I wrong?
See, I don't know enough.
I feel like they have a monopoly on it.
See, I don't know enough, but I know they don't make they may not make the engines and this component and that. I don't know. Right. I don't know enough because I know Rolls-Royce makes airplane motors, jet motors, big, commercial airplane. I know Rolls-Royce makes them. I think Mercedes makes them too. GE makes them, I think, too. So I don't know what components they're responsible for, but I guess the Spirit Aerosystems company, they manufacture aircraft parts for Boeing.
Right.
In that space. So,
so they just get them all and just probably assemble them on site.
They assemble them, yeah.
And just finished product is made by Boeing.
Yeah. So, quote, I think they were sending out a message to anybody else. Dean later told NPR of his firing. If you are too loud, we will silence you. And that was him in an interview with NPR talking about his firing. Dean, who had been at Spirit since 2019 as a quality auditor, so that was his fucking job. His job was to make sure that the quality of these parts going out.
So that's the guy that you should listen to when he wants to blow the whistle.
When he says
a job like
up,
that, knows what he's talking about.
Dean, who had been at Spirit since 2019 as a quality auditor, raised concerns about improperly drilled bulkhead holes on parts for the Boeing 373 MAX planes, according to the Seattle Times. He claimed flagging the issue with his management had no effect. So he's telling you right there, I brought it up to my people, and they didn't care. So
that's so scary, man. America even has laws to protect these whistleblowers, but so many wind up dead. He killed himself. He shot himself twice in the back of the head.
So it's funny you say that. The other Boeing employee, he died from a apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
After telling everyone, I'm not suicidal, I would never kill myself, and a week later. Yeah, okay.
Yep. So, this will be on a podcast in 5 years, Nothing will come of it because nothing ever does come from these things, to the people that it needs to happen to. But, sad stuff, and prayers out to their families. And All right, let's move on to something cheerier. Haven't
like a hill to die on.
No, haven't I always told you that I thought Deion Sanders was a fucking fraud?
Oh, I agree.
Have I ever shared that my feelings towards Deion Sanders?
You can just look at Prime Pret and know he's a fucking fraud.
Yeah, so it's a Deion story coming up, but side story. Oh, there's a steal by Kyrie. Oh, and a foul. Paul George, you fucking bitch. Anyway, so we were at PF Chang's in Arlington. This was, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. Landry was little.
I've never been to a PF Chang's.
Oh, it's good.
I think he just fell on his own.
No.
Paul George didn't even touch him.
Foul. No, he's fouled him.
I mean, as a Dallas fan, I want to foul, but I'm pretty sure I don't think he got touched.
He fouled him.
We would be the worst play-by-play guy. Like, oh, that's some bullshit.
He murdered him.
Oh, man. All right.
So, yeah, we're at PF
Chang's
Chang's
5 years ago.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance, go. It's good for, like, commercial, Chinese. Oh, what a pass.
Oh, what a block. Oh, shit, he did the splits. Oh, he's fucking dead.
See, this is why we can't have TV on.
We're so derailed here. Okay, but he did the splits there, and that looks so awkward.
PF Chang's,
that's going to be a GIF pretty soon.
5 years ago, we were there, and Deion walks in, and I see him. I'm like, hey, Lauren, there's Deion Sanders. She's like, shut up. She turns, it's Deion Sanders. She's like, let's take Landry over there. And I'm like, no. She's like, you don't want him to have an autograph or a picture? I'm like, no. No, that fraud. I'm like, no. And she's like, why? I was like, I'll tell you in the car. So I spent the whole ride from Arlington to Waxahachie detailing all of Deion's shit, Prime Pret, just everything, and all my feelings about it. Anyway, so he's made the move to Colorado.
Oh, you don't say.
There was big hubbub and hoobaloo and whatever
You're just making
say.
Words up right now.
Last year, there was a lot of
hubbub.
Hoobaloo.
There you go. You sound like my mom trying to talk.
Last year when he went to Colorado, right? So he needs to stay off Twitter. Him and his son. So there was a Twitter beef this week that Deion got in on. So
I'm just already cringing at the term Twitter beef.
The leader of your football team, the face of your program, is out here beefing with kids on Twitter. Kids.
Deion or his son?
Both. Deion got involved. So it says, did Colorado's Deion Shedeur Sanders go too far with social media beef? So there was a kid who transferred out of Colorado. It was safety Xavier Smith. He tweeting out, somebody had tweeted to him about why he moved from Colorado, and he basically said Coach Prime was destroying players' belief in themselves behind closed doors. And the story in the Athletics goes that Deion Sanders recommended to Xavier Smith that he hit the transfer portal. Like, he said leave. And he didn't. Xavier Smith didn't. He tried to stick it out. During spring practices, Smith felt like more of an extra in the background of a reality show. That's what he said.
Oh,
and
sure.
then frustration set in. He transferred to Austin Peay. So let me pull up the tweet here real quick on the fly. But basically he says, quote, I was actually getting mad, like tears coming to my eyes because, bro, you never even tried to get to know me. And that's Xavier Smith recalling Deion Sanders telling him that he should enter the transfer portal. And then he, again, quote, he was destroying guys' confidence and belief in themselves. The way he did it, he could have done it with a little bit more compassion. So in response, Shedeur Sanders says, I don't even remember him, to be honest. Bro had to be very mid at best. So
that's easy to say when your dad's the coach.
Yeah. Yep. So somebody tweeted to Deion and says, tell your son to stop acting like he's the coldest out here and then put up a 4-8 record. And then Coach Prime tweeted back at the dude and said, he will be a top 5 pick. Where your son going? LOL. I got time today. And then
is he really? He's not a top 5.
No, I think he'll get that hype because of the name.
Well, they're creating their own hype.
I think he's a terrible quarterback.
It's like LeBron's son Bronny. They're making it seem like he's going to be a first-round pick, maybe second-round pick. That guy averaged like 3 points a game. Like, it's just name recognition.
And I can't find the tweet. But a dude destroyed Deion, and he's like, of course you have fucking time. He said, you haven't made one in-house visit since you've been at Colorado. and he said something. He's like, "Oh, you're LeVar Ball with a headset."
That's a great fucking point.
Fucking great point. And
That's exactly who he is.
he goes, "Of course you have time. You have a 4-8 record. It's laughable." He said something like, "It's laughable. You haven't made one in-house visit to a recruit since you've been to Colorado."
Well, I was gonna say, first of all, Dion doesn't give a shit about those players. It's all about him and his kids.
He'll jet as soon as they're gone.
Yeah. Oh, he's not gonna be at Colorado that long. And then when kids or when parents, like you do those in-home visits, you're supposed to like basically say like, "Hey, your son is going to come be with me now, and I'm going to be his father figure and a mentor."
Please trust him with
me.
me.
You're entrusting that coach with your child, every one of them. He doesn't give a shit about any of those kids, and he totally just relies on the transfer portal to think. He thinks people want to just come and play for him because he's Deion Sanders. Like, he thinks he did get the number 1 recruit, right? That was a big thing when they went to Jackson State. But other than that, like, people are going to soon realize that he's just a shitty person. He's all flair and personality, and he can't coach. You know, I don't know. I can't believe he got, like, ESPN Sportsman of the Year last year, too. And people are like, did they vote on this in August when they were 2-0? And then they went 2-8 after that?
And then I love when Oregon went in there and beat them.
Oh,
their Dan
trounced
Lanning, their coach, was like, "We're not here for fucking clicks and tweets."
Yeah, because that's exactly what Sanders is for.
And then after that game, it showed the players like saying like they had the players mic'd up, of course, because it is a reality show. And the players, even his sons, were like, "Why are y'all so little? Like, what are y'all doing here? Yada yada yada." I'm like, "This is fucking Oregon. Y'all are Colorado. Y'all haven't done fucking shit since fucking Cordell Stewart. Y'all haven't done shit."
They won a national championship when we were really young. Like 93.
And we're old.
Yeah,
and
we're old. Cowboys were good then, too.
Oregon hadn't won a natty, but, I mean, they're fucking Oregon.
They're relevant, though, every year.
They're fucking Oregon.
Yeah. Colorado's just the butthole of the Pac-12.
It's fucking, it's laughable. Somebody said, "Did AB get your Twitter password?" We could go into AB's tweets. We could have a good
AB
long segment about that.
He's the poster boy for CTE.
Well, have you seen his handle? His handle is at CTESPN.
Yeah,
and
I believe it.
And he's actually broke a lot of shit that's gone down, like free agency moves and stuff like that before.
He's like an insider now?
Dude, yeah, he's actually broke a lot of shit.
Man, that guy could have been so great. Is he still a Hall of Famer? If you had to...
I think on the field, probably, but I don't think...
That dude was a game changer.
Dude, he was... I think if... I don't know. Ask Nick. What does Nick think?
Nick would probably have the same response.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's some fucking Deion Sanders. But yeah, the
Deion Sanders is just a shit person.
The dude's tweet blew up. He's like, "Of course you have time. You have a 4-8 record." And he's like, "You're LeVar Ball with a headset."
That's a great point.
So fucking good.
That's very accurate.
So
There's
good.
no arguing that. That's exactly what he is.
All right, so I think that's all I had for news. What do we got?
We've got Hills to Die On.
Yeah, give it to me.
Hold up. By the way, update. Clippers on a 10-0 run. Now they just tied it. Okay, we're up 3. We just hit corner 3.
Josh Green?
Yes, it is. From like Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mentioned the one that if I go for events, I shouldn't have to pay like $28 for a 90-minute show. They should, do
Prorate
it by hour. That's what I said. Yeah, prorate. I want to make sure I use that right. Prorate. Parking for events should be prorated. $20 for a 90-minute show is what I put.
Hey, hold on. Those shoes that the European,
can't see.
the Europe. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to them. I think they're the new Harden shoes. I think the big white dude at 40 right there is wearing them.
Zubac?
Those are like blowing up. Like people love those shoes. I think they're the fucking ugliest, like Payless
I was gonna
looking
say,
fucking shit.
Are they
I've
very
ever
comfortable?
seen.
Because they look ugly as hell.
I don't know. People love them. Like
Dude,
all the sneakerheads. Like,
that's such a bitch move to wear your teammate's shoe.
Like look at them. They look like something. Like they look like something you'd get at Payless. Like the fucking and ones at Walmart look better.
I agree.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
And they're probably $300.
This is why we can't have fucking TV on when we're doing
Stars
this.
game after this. All right. The other two I have, this one involves the service industry. But if I have to stand up to order, you're not going to get a tip.
Oh, 100%.
I forgot where Claire was. She went to like a bakery, and she's like, she put her order in, and then what they do is they flip that iPad around. And I'm like,
they put all that pressure on you.
Yeah, I was like, they made that a thing recently. That wasn't a fucking thing in human history until like 2 or 3 years ago. I said, all you got to do is hit no tip and flip it right back around to them.
So today, when you called me and when I was at lunch, you know, this is how you know I love you. I was at Jersey Mike's and I delayed my sandwich to talk to you. But dude, they asked for a tip at the end, and
They press you into it.
Most of the time, I'd give a little 10% because it's Jersey Mike's. I don't do it anywhere else because it's Jersey Mike's. I do it. Today, I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Well, that's the other thing is, so we went to Chili's the other day. They have fantastic burgers there. I had a great burger.
We went, Landry had an appointment, so he's out of school on Wednesday, and they came up and surprised me and had lunch with me on Wednesday when we went to Chili's, and I had a burger, and it was fucking pretty good.
It was Santa Fe? That's what I get.
No, I got it was called the Just Bacon Burger. It was just fucking meat and bacon and cheese, dude, and it was so good. Go on.
But, so on that, when you tip, because obviously I'll tip for that, right? Like haircuts, I'll give a tip. Yeah, because that's what I told her. I was like, she's providing a service, so she gets a tip. But now it's like instead of starting at 10%, 12, 15, it starts at 18 and then 20, 22, 25. That's when I hit custom and I'll just leave like a whatever, $6, $7. But I'm like, that's the other thing, man. Like they started making it higher rates for your first option. But yeah, if I got to stand up to put my order in, you're not getting a tip.
Might as well cook it.
Yeah.
Might as well cook it.
I'm telling you the order and like I'm paying for the thing and you did nothing except press a couple buttons.
We went, sorry, I'm going to piggyback because we went to, I met my sister in Fort Worth because they came to town and we went to Shake Shack.
Oh, that's a good place.
Same thing. They make you order at kiosk and then they want a tip at the end. And like, I feel bad for bro cooking in the back because I've been in the trenches before.
Yeah.
But I'm not tipping. I'm not.
It's not my job to make sure you got a good
The
living.
more I have to do, the less I'm paying.
Yeah. I hope everyone agrees with this. That shouldn't be like a controversial
Roadhouse,
thing.
I'm tipping the foot. Especially if it's good service.
Oh, we had a
25%
fantastic service. She was a sweetheart.
We had a bro, and he was a bro.
He was a total bro.
The tea was never empty. He didn't even ask. I think it's because he looked at me and he's like, "This brother wants another fucking roll."
He wants some rolls and sweet tea.
As soon as that fucking roll basket was empty, he fucking just brought some more.
That's what I'm saying.
My guy.
We legitimately went through 4 baskets.
Yeah.
And the ones that we didn't finish on the 4th basket, we took home.
Bernie Mac, what is your problem?
I think they're home.
I think they're home. Anyway, continue. Sorry,
I got one more hill to die on.
Go on.
Okay. Well, you're just getting out there, going out of the room. This is a true crime podcast, right?
Uh-huh.
If you're a true crime podcast, especially those who sell merchandise, are just profiting off dead people. And I say that as a reformed true crime podcast listener. But like Crime Junkie and Murder in America, they just tell these horrible stories of the worst time. And then they'll take a break midway and say, by the way, we got merch that just dropped. And as they're talking about like a filicide murder of like a mother killing her whole family.
And, I get it. A lot of these, this is how they make their money. This is how they make their living. But, I don't know. Get sponsors.
Well, and also I remember because Crime Junkie, that's the ones I can't stand. Those 2 chicks from like Indiana. They're the worst. I'm not a fan of theirs. But I read a story recently where like it was a sister. So her sister got murdered. And they're like, we never gave these women permission to do this. And like they're profiting off my sister's death. It's the worst day of my life. They're like, they're getting all this stuff wrong. They're reporting, misleading information. We never cooperated with them. So I was going to say like shows like Dateline in 2020 are different. Because they get full cooperation from the family.
Yeah, they have to opt
in. They have to like get their say so, and then they have their own input. But I told Claire, I was like, I could make a podcast tonight about a true crime, and I don't have to get anybody's permission to do that. So with that being said, our Mount Rushmore is actually about unsolved murders, and we have merchandise for sale at Mild and Lazy Guys. So we can just go right. That was a good segue right into our Mount Rushmore.
That's well done.
But yeah, because I was listening to one, and it was about a mother in Houston that like shot both her children in front of her husband to make him suffer. And then halfway through, they come, so we got new merch that just dropped for anyone who's interested. And I'm like, these motherfuckers are just talking about this terrible story, and now they want you to buy their stuff.
How do you feel about Swindle, though? He kind of does it.
He does, but he doesn't talk about. He talks about like evil corporations. And I listened to one today about the Tyson Foods. Have you heard that one yet? It's basically about the slaughterhouses. It was a rough listen, man. Yeah, and trust me, I love my hamburgers and my bacon burgers, but
Tyson
they really do like. Well, that's like a monopoly, man. The way they set it up, the way that he explains it in the story, like they really do just, and they screw over like all the middlemen in between who are like the farmers. Like they put them in these situations where they have these unpayable loans that Tyson made them pay out or to take out, and when they can't pay, like it just puts more pressure on them, and it's just like a really vicious circle.
I never thought, you asked me, I don't know, even like a couple years ago, would you not listen to podcasts anymore, really? And I'd be like, you're crazy. Dude, I don't listen to podcasts anymore.
I don't. I listen to Necronomicon, which that's the only one I'll endorse, but they do a lot of like disappearances and supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
But I listened to the one today about Amanda Knox. It was a 2-parter. And then, because I finished all my books this week, and I don't like starting books before the weekend because then I can't finish them on time. And I don't like taking a 2-day break because I'm a big dork. I was like, I have to just like listen to it straight through. So I listened to that and the new Swindled. So those are my 2 podcasts today. But yeah, we got merch for sale if anyone wants to get it. We don't talk about dead people too often. But on this episode, we're about to talk about unsolved
people,
murders on our Mount Rushmore. Oh, Luke got the buzzer. No, he fucking missed it.
Dude, you just missed it.
I was about to yell bang.
Maxie just fucking hit a big 3.
I did see that.
Oh, you saw it.
What a wild first. We were up 10, then we tied, then we were...
Oh!
What's his name?
It's Bobon.
Bobon.
It's Bobon. It's Bobby. We can't have this on.
Yeah, you're right. Fucking turn it off, man. We'll
I'm
watch
not going to turn it off. We just got to be better.
I'm not going to be better.
We just got to fucking be better.
I'm such a weak-minded person. I just give in every time.
All right, so...
Okay, but I am going to... Yeah, I'm ready for this.
Yeah,
look into my eyes.
As Andrew said, our Mount Rushmore is our Mount Rushmore of unsolved murders.
Yep.
So we're fucking sick people.
We're about to make so much money.
Do you want me to go all for mine? Because this one's kind of hard because I think we're gonna have some of the same.
Yeah. So go ahead and do yours.
That's fine.
I gave you 2 though. I gave you your favorite 2. I texted you.
Oh.
I said you could have these 2, because I know that you like them.
Zodiac
and Jean Bonnet.
Jean Bonnet, yeah. The Zodiac, it's just got everything. Like it's got the ciphers and the different styles. It's got everything you would want.
All your boxes.
It's got everything you would want.
It is, man. It's a wild case. The ciphers, that's so weird.
And he taunts the police, and I don't know. The movie was really good with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Movie is really good.
I will say I'll give a quote to one of the ciphers, and this one was sent in. I think it was the first one that he sent into San Francisco Chronicle. Quote, and this one was decoded by a high school teacher and his wife. And it reads, quote, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all to kill. Something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with the girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and they have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down, or it says atop, but stop my collecting of my slaves for my afterlife."
I wonder if he did that. So if he did get caught, he'd be like, "Look, I'm fucking crazy. Like, you see the stuff I'm talking about?" Because that is some mentally deranged stuff. Like, normal people don't think about that, like collecting slaves for the afterlife and stuff. Like, that's not a normal thought. Obviously, committing murder is not a normal act, but...
Yep. So he was active from, because they can't really attribute.
Yeah. Because you could have cases that still to this day we don't know were him.
So, but
like some of his earlier ones.
He was
or
really
ones.
active in '68 and '69 in San Francisco area. He began.
Dude, imagine what a wild time in that specific. He had Haight-Ashbury. He had the whole hippie revolution, Grateful Dead, just like taking LSD every day, and then you have the most notorious serial killer.
And wasn't that in San Francisco? Wasn't that like the Patty Hearst case with the
I feel like that
People
was
Revolution's Army or whatever
that was
called
later 70s.
Okay,
yeah,
but wasn't that in San Francisco though? That area, Bay Area.
I mean, it could have been.
But yeah, so it says he had at least 5 killings directly connected to him, although he claims 37.
Good Lord.
But yeah.
Well, he got away with it. There's no fucking... I don't think there's any way he's alive now.
Yeah. No, he's not.
I mean, that was 50 years ago. Even if he was in his 30s now, he'd have to live a clean life to be still alive.
They had... I think his name was John Wayne Carroll or John Shelby Carroll. Or something like that.
Is that the main suspect?
That was the main suspect. And he was later institutionalized for something, obviously for mental health something. But yeah,
Man.
he was played by in the movie.
He was the big guy, the
he
big
was
bald guy at the end.
Yeah, and the movie kind of said this is who we think we think it's.
That's
Carol.
how they portrayed it.
Yeah.
As he was the killer at the end.
Yeah. And obviously the other one is John Bonet. To me, it's just there's so many different angles. Was it the mom? Was it the brother? Was it the mom covering for the brother?
Or
there was a family friend.
Was it Santa Bill?
Yeah, it was. There was a friend that would dress up as Santa at the
and told her he was going to come see her that
special
night.
Trip.
He was going to make a special stop for her that night.
Yep. It's just you could.
It's got everything.
It's got all, but and
then
it's such a
weird,
sad case.
And it's weird too because they had that ransom note in then they were like, we want this much money, and it turns out that was like almost the exact dollar amount like the dad's Christmas bonus was or something was.
It was an exact amount.
And then it was like they wrote like a 3-page ransom letter, and the FBI's like, who the fuck writes a 3-page ransom note? Usually it's like 10 words, like to the point, like we have your kid, pay us now or she dies. Mm-hmm. They wrote her 3 fucking pages.
Yeah, and and there's handwriting. There was a handwriting. Samples and experts. It's just.
And then the way she died, they killed her with a garrote, like mafia style.
That's an unusual way.
That's a very unusual way.
That's
who the fuck has a garrote?
That's what makes me think. It wasn't the brother.
Family,
it wasn't the brother.
Well, he was only a couple years older, right?
Yeah, but they said
that takes a lot of will and determination to kill someone with that because they're going to be putting up a fight.
They're putting up a fight, and it's up close and personal.
That's very up close and personal. Dude.
I mean, as much as you can get. But I need to look up the details on one of mine, but I'll give you one that you probably don't. You might not know, but it's called the Severed Feet Mystery.
I've heard about that.
You've heard about it?
Was that in British Columbia and Vancouver?
BC, yeah.
Fucking feet washing up.
Yeah, there was several feet that were washing up with just shoes with feet attached in them. I think they've been connected to 5 men, 1 woman, and 3 of unknown sex. But the Vancouver police did manage to identify 1 foot in 2008, matching its DNA to a man who was described as suicidal. Lander, you want to say hi to the podcast? You want to say hi? Say hi to the...
Hello, podcast.
But they were able to match the DNA who was described to a man who was described as suicidal. They were also able to match 2 other feet to women who were also believed to have committed suicide. So
is there I'm guessing a bridge nearby? They think they just jumped off the bridge.
Yeah. They thought.
But how I guess never mind. I guess fish or shark.
Well, that and then they say sometimes when you jump from such a height, shit just fucking comes apart.
Just rips off.
Yeah,
like
it just rips off. Yeah.
No way.
Because they said there was some almost like a waterfall-ish effect. Like there was some kind of running water, like some turbulent water. So they might have come down and hit a rock or whatever. But yeah, they never really. Yeah, some people said that because of the rarity of only feet and no other body parts.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Some believe that the feet were connected to a plane crash at a nearby island, and others suggest they were victims of the Asian tsunami in 2004, since the make of the shoes were all manufactured before 2004. But yeah, it's just weird.
That's just weird.
It's just one of the weird ones that was just never solved. So if you want to go, I'm going to look up the details on my last one. So if you want to go.
Okay. I got of course this is a ridiculous word. Villisca axe murders is a small village of Villisca, Iowa, endured a massacre in 1912 that tainted the town's reputation forever. An axe-wielding perpetrator snuck into a home of a local wealthy family and then moved from room to room, beating every occupant to death as they slept with his weapon. He murdered a total of 8 people in a single night, including 6 children. The assailant covered all the mirrors and all the glass door panels with pieces of the victim's clothing, left his murder weapon in the house, and then locked the door as he left. Today, the town of Viscala still suffers from this still suffers from the effects of these brutal slayings. So guy just walked into a house, fucking killed everyone with an axe, covered all the mirrors, all the doors, and walked out and locked the door.
Isn't that wild?
It was over 100 years ago. They still don't know what the fuck happened. One more, or I'll just keep going. The Mad Butcher, also known as the Cleveland Torso Killer, who would have been my number one serial killer of all time, but we had to keep it real.
Keep it real.
That was a racial joke. The Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run terrorized Cleveland, Ohio throughout the 1930s. Kingsbury Run was an area famous for its shady establishments such as gambling dens and whorehouses. That's such a cool name, whorehouses.
Whorehouses?
Better than a bunny house. Let's go to a whorehouse. Makes me sound like an old gunslinger. It was a preferred destination for any local homeless people. Between 1935 and 1938, a total of 13 vagrants were found stabbed, dismembered, decapitated, and in some cases, castrated. The butcher had no real physical preferences. He killed both men and women in equal, violently ways, so he's about equality. The only link was that they were all living on the streets, despite an extensive manhunt and some very likely suspects. The butcher was never found. So that's just a wild case. That's the one that what's his name? Elliot Ness was on, and rumored to have like found out who the killer was, but his dad was like connected locally to like the local government and like some big hitters, and so they made Elliot Ness like bury it and claim to that he never solved it, but that was the case that always haunted him. You got your last one, or you want me to keep going?
So I do, and I was unsure. Because there was some. And I'll have a backup, but it was the Atlanta child murders. But
Technically,
it was solved with Wayne. I think Wayne Williams.
Yeah.
But because it's like allegedly, or I mean, not allegedly, he did get convicted for it. But I don't know if they got the right guy. So
yeah,
I'm not going to count
the
it.
The body that he dumped was like an adult, and all the other ones were like children, like 12, and this was like a grown ass man.
Yeah.
But I would believe that he really threw that body over that bridge.
Yeah.
And they found him, and they were like, "Hey, let's just convict this guy."
Yeah.
I think Wayne Williams killed one for sure. I don't know if he killed all those kids though.
Yeah, and they were that was the plot or the story for season 2 of one of our favorite shows, Mindhunters.
This is one of the greatest shows of all time,
which apparently isn't ever going to happen again.
Apparently, God just hates us all.
But so I'll come up with another one or with the last one because I'm trying to find it now.
Okay.
If you want to go.
Well, I got the Jeanette De Palma case. Jeanette De Palma was a 16-year-old girl who went missing on August 7th, 1972, after telling her mother she was going to visit a friend in Springfield Township, New Jersey. She never arrived at her destination, and her body was not found until 6 weeks later by a dog walker in a wooded area known as the Devil's Teeth. Mm-hmm. Her body was badly decomposed and surrounded by strange objects such as wooden crosses, animal bones, candles, and pentagrams. Some witnesses claimed that they saw signs of witchcraft or satanic rituals at the scene. The police ruled her death as a homicide but never identified any suspects or motives. They also dismissed the rumors of occult involvement as unfounded. However, some locals believe that Jeanette was killed by a cult or by someone who practiced black magic. That's just a wild case. I think that was like wild. The premise for True Detective season 1.
Yeah, sounds
exactly like the case of True Detective.
Speaking of that, my ADHD is so fucking raging so hard tonight. 2 things. One, there is a new season of True Detective. I don't know if you saw that yet.
I've heard mixed things. Yeah, with Jodie Foster.
Yeah. 2, I finally watched Paradise Lost.
That was mine.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay, I finally watched it. It was
fantastic. Did you watch all 3?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The second one's wild because that's with, what's his name, the dad? They just make him the focal point, and that guy is so fucking weird.
When I tell you, like, I've never been so sure of something in my fucking life.
It
was episode maniac. 2 of fucking Paradise Lost when he's fucking out in the fucking woods, fucking lighting shit on fire.
He's like, Jesse, I hope you burn in hell for this.
I'm like, yeah, you fucking murdered your kid and his friends, but then I guess not. I guess he was.
Well, what's crazy is it was the other stepdad that got like the Byers. He was Byers. It was Byers, yeah. I can't remember him now. It was Myers.
It wasn't Myers and Byers, right?
It was Moore. Michael Moore, Byers. I can't remember the third kid, but that was my last one actually. And then I had So it was West Memphis 3. It was 3 teenagers convicted in 1994 of the 93 killing of 3 kids in West Memphis, Arkansas. Eccles was sentenced to death. Miss Kelly was life plus 20 years, and Baldwin got life in prison. It was the whole satanic panic thing that just got everybody. I don't know. I had something else on here. Eventually, they served 18 years, but they took an Alfred plea.
Yep.
Got out, which
still guilty.
allows them to assert their innocence while acknowledging that prosecutions has enough evidence to convict them. So they know they didn't fucking do it, but they just wanted to get out of there. After 18 years, I don't blame them, because Damien Eccles was eventually they were gonna kill him.
Yeah, they were.
He was out of you run out of appeals, and eventually they'll just kill you.
Yep.
So
yeah, I got my last one.
Okay,
I just
cool.
needed to find a little synopsis of it. So, have you ever heard of the Terry Calico case?
I think I just read that earlier.
Okay, I'll get you'll know it. So on the morning of September 20th, 1988, in Belen, New Mexico, Terry Calico borrowed her mother's pink bike to go out for a spin. Extroverted and active, she worked as a bank teller and was studying to become either a psychologist or a psychiatrist. She planned to play tennis that afternoon and asked her mom to drive out after her in case she got a flat, and didn't return home by noon. She never did return. Every lead went dead until a year later when a photo was found depicting a young woman her age and a missing boy, both gagged.
And he was from New Mexico as well.
The Polaroid photograph was found in a parking lot outside of Junior Food Store in Florida. The 9-year-old Michael Henley went missing in the same area as Calico in April of '88 when he was hunting turkeys with his father. They appeared to be in the back of a van with a copy of a book written by V.C. Andrews, Calico's favorite author, lying right next to the girl. Initially, Tara's mother did not think the girl was her, but the girl in the photograph had a scar identical to Calico. But still, due to lack of evidence, many experts dismissed the photograph. In 1990, Michael Henley's body was found in the Zuni Mountains where he was hunting, which strongly disconnects the theory that the two were abducted and taken to Florida. Calico's parents would eventually die, never finding out who took their daughter.
Yeah, that's the worst part, is the not knowing.
Yeah.
These are all terrible stories, but at least people got closure.
Yeah, and that's just a short synopsis of it. If you want to, there are podcasts out there that do a great job of
Scumbags.
going
Not
in.
like us, though.
Yeah, we just in and out. Like,
You see how quick Matt was reading that?
Yeah.
We are not trying to profit off these deaths unless you want to buy a T-shirt.
but there are other ones out there that do go into good, great detail about it, and we'll tell you all about it, and you can form your own opinions.
The whole Polaroid thing, because she was from New Mexico, is that right?
Yeah.
And then found in Florida.
Yep.
That's terrifying, and I could see that happening.
I don't know, man.
Like a real situation.
To me, and I'm looking at the photo here, and it's a little boy, and they got duct tapes over their
Okay,
mouth.
but whoever those two kids are, that's such a tragic photo.
2 other kids are gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's not them, that means it's someone else.
Yeah.
And that's just fucking so sad.
Yeah. So,
Well, let's keep this rolling. I got honorable mentions here.
go ahead.
I got the Lindbergh baby.
Yeah.
The Lindbergh baby case was a kidnapping and murder of the son of the famous aviator and known Nazi supporter, Charles Lindbergh. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. In 1932, that was right before he got an award in Germany from Hitler. A ransom note was left at the scene of this, and a series of negotiations followed, but the baby was never returned. His body was found 2 months later. The police traced the ransom money to a German immigrant named Bruno Richard Hauptmann, who was arrested and tried for the crime. He denied any involvement and said that he got his money from a dead friend. He was convicted and executed in 1936, but I'm pretty sure he didn't do it. It's one of those things where revisionist history have told us he was probably innocent. The other two, OJ.
I was going to ask.
I mean, he didn't do it, so who killed him?
with OJ being gone.
I mean, who killed Nicole Brown Simpson? Because
I don't know.
OJ
I
didn't do it.
I think you should read the book. If I didn't kill her, but if I did, here's how I'll do it.
What a great title, dude. The Double Jeopardy, dude. They can't get
Yeah.
you. So
He's
just
rubbing
do
your
whatever-
fucking nose in
Yeah,
it.
whatever you want.
You're fucking rubbing your nose
Hey,
in it.
OJ, what was more difficult, running for 2,000 yards at a sentence or slicing 2 necks in one night? Remember when people were calling in on him on a radio show and that? Oh, classic, man.
I forget the tweet, but it was it was right when Russell Wilson left Denver, and it was OJ had a better run as a Bronco in a Bronco than fucking Russell Wilson. It's oh, that's so good.
The jokes
dude.
never get old. And of course, 2 people are dead. We apologize.
Yeah.
But those are fucking fantastic
And we were
jokes.
talking about it at work because I guess I let it. It's come out that I'm the true crime guy. I'm into true crime, and I was and it was when OJ died, and that's how it got brought up. And I was like, I don't think people realize how fucking gruesome those fucking murders were.
Yeah, because the guy that he killed was like
Ron
a karate
Goldman?
guy.
Ron
So they were
Goldman.
like, he would have put up a hell of a fight. That's why someone big and strong would have to.
What do you think? What do you think about the theory that OJ's son did it, and OJ?
How big was he though? Or how old was he?
I don't know. It didn't. It didn't never.
I mean, that
OJ
was
fucking
30
did it.
years ago.
OJ fucking did it.
Oh yeah.
He fucking damn near decapitated Nicole Brown.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what they said. That was like a crime of passion when you just didn't slice their neck. Like her neck was almost hanging off of her head. He did it. He got away with it. He hired the dream team, and this was right after Rodney King. And people are like, "Look, we are not gonna fucking, we gotta let one slide. We gotta let
fucking
this go."
OJ to thank for the fucking Kardashians. So thanks, bro.
That too, and that's what screwed over the Menendez brothers because that was after OJ, and they were like,
We're not doing
we
that
lost
again.
that case. We're not losing this case."
Was that it on your honorable mention?
I had one more, and that's local murder, Missy Beavers.
Yep.
Which, again, this is going to sound fucked up, but I told Claire that is a fantastic porn name, like a wasted porn name. Missy Beavers would be the greatest porn name of all time, and it's wasted on this poor murdered lady. But that was a wild case. So if anyone who doesn't
it's
know,
right down
which
the road.
most people who listen to this, we probably went to high school with, so they know. But yeah, she was killed was it in a church or?
Right off 287, right before you get to that Whataburger.
I knew you were going to use Whataburger as a marker.
Because it's right there, right past the airport.
So there's a Whataburger, and it's right across the street from that Whataburger.
No, it's right next. It's
next to it?
If you're going toward Midlothian,
It's on your right?
yeah, it's on your right. You pass the airport, and then that church.
I wouldn't call that an airport. It's more like a strip.
It's a fucking airport.
Okay.
It's the Midway Airport, sir.
Midway to here in Dallas. That's all they fly to. But she was so the guy, because we don't know if it was a man or a woman that killed her. There's video. There's like closed caption.
I think it was a woman.
Okay, but they were in like full SWAT gear,
SWAT tactical
and they
gear.
killed her with a fucking hammer, dude. They just beat her to death with a hammer.
And the suspect had like a gait, like a limp almost.
What'd you call it? A gate?
A gait. Like a gait is like how you walk.
Huh.
Like G-A-I-T, I believe.
Oh, there you go. Okay. She had a weird gait, that's for sure. Because that was like one of the telling things is like, well, they got a limp, and then her father-in-law, when they brought him in for question, he was limping in. People were like, "Oh, look at that!"
Yeah.
But wasn't she like banging some
Apparently,
dude?
there was some infidelity.
Like she had like a black
on.
boyfriend, and so they were thinking, well, maybe it's the boyfriend's wife that found out.
Maybe, and the father-in-law, or maybe the husband.
And they were connected to the Midlothian police. They were like real fucking tight with them.
They had brought in like a article of clothing to the cleaners a couple days after, and it had blood on it, but it turned out to be animal blood.
The father-in-law got all these, because we were talking about this at work too, and I was like, "Don't you just burn all that?"
Yeah.
Like I'm over here thinking about how I get away with murder, and I'm like, I'm not washing those clothes.
And the husband was like on a hunting or fishing trip or something out of town.
Nice
So
little alibi.
yeah, I heard that he could have been cheating, and that was, the mistress that did it to get her out of the way.
Dang.
But yeah, pretty wild. So
It is wild.
one of mine was, we could do this all night, but one of mine was the Watcher House.
Yeah, is that true though?
Yeah, it seems like it's true.
Did you watch that show?
I didn't, because I've heard the story so many times.
The premise is terrifying, right?
Yeah.
But the show, I don't know. I didn't really like the show that much because I was like, that should have been such a better show.
So it says in June 2014, Maria and Derek Broaddus, along with their 3 young children, were excited. They moved into a new house. And so right after they had moved in, they received a letter addressed to the, quote, new owner in their mailbox. The letter was typed in clunky handwriting, welcomed the family to the neighborhood, and asked how they had ended up in the house, claiming that the writer's family had been watching it for decades. The letter quickly turned sinister, with the writer asking if the family needed to fill the house with the young blood that they had requested, claiming to have seen the family's children and threatening to call them and draw them closer. The writer ended the letter by signing off as the Watcher. After consulting with the previous owners who had never received a letter like this before, the Broaddus family went to the police.
And if this was a hoax, I would say this is a fantastic hoax because it's terrifying. Like to move into a house, and it wasn't just any house, wasn't it? Like $1 million house.
Gorgeous.
Like they put all their money into this. So I was like, I don't know. I don't feel like they were fucking with them, or I don't think the homeowners were behind it. I feel like somebody was really messing with them, and it's such a creepy premise because we've talked about this. Like in your home, that's like your sanctuary. Like I shit my pants if someone knocks on my door. You know, I'm peeking through the windows, and of course my kids just rip them open. But I'm like opening a crack. I'm like, who is knocking on my door right now? Because unless we go to Thanksgiving, unless you're at the Thanksgiving table with me, you know, like you shouldn't just be showing up.
I don't even show up because I know that.
I was like, text me first, call me.
You,
you got to give me a heads up. Like anyone who knocks on my door is an absolute stranger to me. I mean, hard the bitch. You're trying to get that call.
But we could go on all night. Like the Malaysia Flight 370.
Well, no, see, that's why I text you. I said next week or next. No, I wish next week. Next episode we should do unsolved mysteries, and something like that would apply. And then you have like the, I don't know, like Roswell or that weird case in Russia where all those people just like took off running in the middle of the mountains when it was like
when it's snowing.
Yeah, like freezing cold, and they all just like died out in the wilderness, but something like scared them out.
Oh, Dyatlov Pass.
Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah.
Or those 4 people that were like mentally challenged guys that went to a basketball game and
and
they just got lost and like
one of them they ate a bunch of people. Like didn't one of them like eat like another guy or something like that?
Maybe we got to get into that.
D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, see something like that's more unsolved mysteries where this was unsolved murders.
True.
So I feel like we just opened a door here and then we got to do the conspiracy theories, the Mount Rushmore of conspiracy theories coming up too. So
what about the death of Elisa Lamb?
Yeah, that's a weird one. Who ended up in the water cooler
thing?
And they have all that surveillance video of her, and she's acting so weird.
She's a fucking drugged.
But the way and she was acting like somebody was after her. You know, but then to get in there, and then wasn't it covered back up?
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying. Like when you're in water, like it's hard to get momentum for anything.
Yeah.
You can't just move that thing closed without having a solid ground to get a base for.
Push off.
Yeah, to push it closed. Like you're floating in water trying to move this thing that probably weighs more than she does. Nah, man, that's such a weird case. So that's what I want to do next is unsolved mysteries.
And there's other murders, like the I-70 killer. He killed a bunch of people on I-70 and Iowa and shit.
The opening of the freeways, the highway system, just was like the godsend for serial killers. That was the greatest thing that ever happened to serial killers.
And like the Oklahoma Girl Scout murders, like where a bunch of those Girl Scouts got murdered and then on the fucking camping trip. Like,
and they were like cabins right next to each other.
Yeah,
right.
They just went down line by line or cabin by cabin.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, so we could go off on that. All night.
All right, we're gonna take a break now to tell you about this new merch we got. Actually, I got some questions. If that's where you want to segue to next.
Yes, ask me.
I'm gonna give you all the questions, man. So this is just what I've been coming up with the last few weeks. First one's up. What percentage of your dreams do you think you remember? Because I feel like I get a memory wipe when I wake up.
10%.
That's what I told Claire. Less than 10%, right?
Yeah.
And it comes like in fractions. Like I can remember a little bit, and that might unlock a little bit more than I remembered. But there's certain days where I'm like, I don't know what. Like I'm sitting there making coffee, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell I just dreamt.
Yeah,
it's a total like void.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like really lucid dreaming, and then I tell Claire, it's like, yeah, like I'll tell her everything, like detail for detail, and I'm like, it's crazy, like this happened and that happened, and this person was there, showed up, and I was doing this.
I don't know. I don't dream a lot. Like I don't ever think I sleep.
I feel like you have to hit a certain number of hours to hit that REM sleep.
I don't ever sleep long or well enough.
You probably need 7 to 8 minimum to get that.
Like 5 3/4, 6 hours a night.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I get like 6.5 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a dream the other day that I remembered where I sold the Honda, my Odyssey, and I was so sad. I was like, I had buyer regret so hard. Claire's like, well, you could go buy it back.
Better sell it to me when you sell it.
I was like, yeah, I was just so sad. Okay, so this is us. We're a house divided when it comes to this. So how do you make your tuna? What do you put in it other than like tuna and mayonnaise?
Onion.
Yeah.
Dill pickles.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, see, I like to put... What else would I put? Like olives and peppers. But Claire...
You're doing too much.
Okay, well, Claire's an apples and grapes girl.
So is my wife.
That's fucking
disgusting.
Okay,
gross.
I'm glad we agree on that. Okay, if you can only keep one of these for your pizza, are you going to keep Parmesan cheese or red pepper on your pizza?
Parmesan. All day.
I think I'd go red pepper.
I don't need the heartburn. Pizza gives me enough heartburn.
I'm going to get heartburn for this Snapple apple I just finished 10 minutes ago. I'm going to go get a Tums for my car. We're going to take a break in like 10 minutes.
I got Tums, bro.
Okay, that'll work. All right, this one I came up with. This is a good one. If there was a state-sponsored sterilization program for free, they cover it, and they give you $3,000, would you do it?
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
They pay for it, and you get $3,000.
Yeah.
Just so you can't have any more kids.
Yeah. And then I'm busting all the nuts.
Exactly. So I told Claire, I was like, this is a great deal.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I should take away, like, maybe they don't pay for it, or maybe you don't get money. But I was like, no, they pay for it, and I get $3,000. I was like, that's a modest number. That way it's no more.
That's like a dream.
It's like a little eugenics, but like with profit.
People pay to have that done.
Exactly. Some people shouldn't be having all these kids either.
Yeah, they need
That's the
it.
thing. I see people. Oh, I remember what happened because we were at the library. This lady had 9 fucking kids, and I told
9?
Claire, I was, yeah, there was literally like one on her
Were
back.
they all of them hers, or was she like running like a baby?
No, they were all. They all looked like Little House on the Prairie kids, like dirt knees, like dirty clothes. And I was like, they need to get sterilized. Like that dad needs to be sterilized like 5 years ago. All right, you know what a lot lizard is?
Yeah.
All right, would you rather be a lot lizard for 6 months or go to jail for a year?
Can I bang female truckers?
No, I don't know. It's whatever trucker wants you. Most likely, it's a dude.
Oh, give me the year.
Well, okay, probably gonna get banged in prison too.
Yeah, look at this juicy ass.
I mean, that's the thing is either way, I feel like you're gonna get banged by a dude. It's like, do you just want your freedom, or do you want to go to jail for 6? You get 3 square meals a day and a bed. You might make a friend. Maybe it's only one guy that bangs you. Lot lizard's gonna be like every night. People using that mouth.
Be holding somebody's pocket for a year.
Yeah. Really got to think about that one, huh? I think I'd go to jail for a year.
Yeah,
and I would just like make good friends with like one dude and just like be his bitch.
Just get to know one dick.
Yeah,
instead of a lot of
just be
dicks.
friendly with one dick instead of a whole like parking lot. And Claire's
yeah.
like, is it like a? She's like, I'm like, no, you work at like a fucking Love's gas station in like Huntsville, Texas. Like you are a lot lizard. She chose lot lizard, by the way. All right.
What does that say about her?
That she doesn't want to go to jail, I hope. That she fears jail. All right, you gonna keep all your toes, or are you gonna keep your dick? Either cutting off
I don't
all
really
10
use
toes.
it that much.
So you're gonna cut your dick off?
Yeah.
You just got $3,000 to get sterilized.
Fuck. But you can't even fucking walk.
That's what Claire was saying. She goes, I'll just cut my dick off. I was like, you don't understand the importance of a guy's dick here. I was like, I will fucking get a handicap parking sticker, and I will make you wheel me around everywhere in my wheelchair.
Yeah.
You keeping your dick?
Yeah, I'm keeping it.
Okay,
You
see?
can have my toes.
Okay, 2 more. Either you can't wash your hands for a week, or you can't wipe your butt for 3 days. Why are you thinking of this shit? I don't know. It's just I'll literally be laying in bed, half asleep, and I'll just grab, because I'm blind. I got to grab my glasses and I'll grab my phone. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna ask Matt if he wants to wash his hands for a week or not wipe his butt for 3 days."
Dude, like, I need to wash my hands now, and like I can't stand it. Like I like having clean hands. Like
So you're just gonna have mud butt for 3 days.
like I'm such a bitch. Like there's dudes out here that like fucking work with grease and shit on their hands, and like I work in an office. I'm like, I need my fucking Purell. I think I need to wash my hands because I think I could maybe hold off a turd for 3 days.
It's gonna be a monster after 3 days.
Because
You're
I
gonna
do
be
it
in a
on-
hospital
I do
bed.
it on vacation for whatever reason. When
You
I
don't
go
poop on vacation?
dude. My body knows.
He's
it
like,
just
we're out of our
won't-
comfort
yeah.
zone.
It just
We're
won't.
shutting down.
Like it has to get bad, and
Man,
I'll finally go.
I'll take 2 shits at work every day.
And like I read something about it. Like it's like legit. Like there's something like your body knows. Like when it's outside of its routine and outside of its like comfort. Like your body kind
I
of
can kind of see
acts
that.
weird and kind of knows.
I'll tell you what though, if I'm taking a shit, even at my house, I'm laying toilet paper down. I always gotta do that. I gotta protect these cheeks.
You're a psychopath.
Why? Because I don't want to sit bare ass.
It's your toilet seat. You just got
I
through
pee
talking.
all over it.
Why?
Because I'm crazy.
Oh my god!
I got a tornado that thing when I'm done.
You just said that your house was your sanctuary. So what's wrong? Why is your seat so dirty you can't put your precious little ass on it?
I appreciate you calling it precious little ass.
Well, it is.
Okay, but if I'm at work and people don't do that, that's weird.
Okay.
What's weirder, me doing that at house or people not doing that in public?
People not doing that in public.
Okay,
So
thank
what
you.
I do,
It's probably just a habit, I just 3 quick tears and I lay them down.
No.
And then when you're ready to wipe, you got tissue right there waiting for it. It's all warm.
see, but you're putting why? It's the same thing. You're putting what you're protecting yourself against in your butt at that point, right?
I mean, I didn't know we were going to go there in this episode, but
Well, you took us here. You're the navigator. You said it earlier. You navigate. You navigated. We're here.
that's true.
So the
I am
thing
a
you're
good
protecting
navigator.
yourself against, then you're going to turn and wipe the like no. What I do at work, because there's 6 dudes in one bathroom and everybody's dumping, I'll get the we have a huge container of the like Clorox wipes, like the sanitary wipes. So
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like like wet. I'll on the way to the bathroom, I'll just tear 2 off and I'll wipe that seat down, all down.
I mean, if I had that option at work, I would do that too.
And then I sit, because there's just 6 grown men just treating that thing
Especially
like a
after
fucking,
like 10 o'clock when everyone's had their
lot
cup of
lizard.
coffee.
oh yeah, dude. Oh,
Because that's what I do. I go outside and we have a coffee and a cigarette at approximately 8:15 every day. So by 8:30, I'm taking a shit.
yeah, and
every day.
I get there before everybody, so sometimes my dumps will hit me, and I'll get that first one of the
Oh,
day.
if you're
and I'll get
driving
it out
down
of
the road, do you
way.
drink coffee in the morning?
Yeah.
If you're driving down the road, sometimes I can just smell it and my bowels start
shit.
working. I'm like, I'm going to go take a dump right
Oh
now.
shit.
All right, I got one more. Would you rather sound like talk and laugh like Goofy or Daffy Duck?
Goofy. I think it's kind of cute.
That's what we both said. Claire and I both said Goofy.
Goofy. Yeah. Fucking goofy. Yeah.
All right, good luck talking dirty to Lauren like that.
It wouldn't work anyway.
Yeah, she shoots you down.
Shoot me down. As my son would say, I have 0 riz. Riz.
That's bad when a 10-year-old's taking shots at
Yeah,
you.
Riz is a game. Kid, Gen, what is he?
Gen
Gen
Z?
Gen Y?
No. What year was he born?
15.
Oh, yeah. I think he's the tail end of Gen Z.
Okay, so Gen Z, Gen Y, like that's their speak for a game is Riz. He tells
No,
me
we're
all the time.
Gen Y. We don't say that shit.
We're not Gen Y.
Yeah, we are.
We're millennials.
It's Gen Y is millennials.
Oh,
Because it went X, Y, Z.
excuse the fuck.
You mean Alpha. The new generation
Okay,
Alpha.
maybe Alpha.
Yeah.
So that's their speak.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. Speaking of glizzies, though, my buddy Cisco, who's on the podcast, sent me a picture of a blizzard and it had a hot dog in it. It was called a blizzy.
Dude,
Like, fucking gross,
sign me
man.
up, bro.
That's so nasty.
But yeah, he tells me all the time I have 0 riz. I'm like, I pulled your mom, bitch.
Yeah, how you like that?
How do you like
Guess where
that?
you came from?
Yeah, my riz.
Suck it, son.
Those are good. I like that. Come up with more fucking
Yeah,
weird
that was quite
questions.
a bit. So, yeah, Claire, like I said, I'll just come up with those in the middle of the night. I'll start laughing at myself in bed, and then I just grab my phone and text it. And I do it on a text message that I dare not send to somebody. So
Right.
with my bank, every time I make a purchase, it'll send me my
Debit
account
alert.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it's saved on. I was like, if I ever accidentally sent that to the bank, they would just close my accounts.
They're putting you on a list.
Yeah, they're just gonna say, yeah, fuck this guy, he's not worth it. You want to talk Cowboys draft? I can do
Yeah.
the scouting report on these guys. I got like a paragraph on each of them.
Yeah, I have draft related stuff.
All right, so this is from Cowboys Country. I don't know. They had a good list that just gave a grade and like a summary of everyone. So Tyler Guyton, who we got 29th pick after trading down, they gave him a B+. It says Tyler Guyton, who stands 6'7" and 328 pounds, is the next star lineman for the Cowboys. In 14 games last season for Oklahoma, 1 at left tackle, 13 at right tackle.
Formerly of TCU, by the way.
Yeah, true. Looking like old Greg.
Dude, I can't. I introduced one of my buddies at work to old Greg because he's got like our sense of humor. He's 2 or 3 years younger than me, so he's probably your age, and he gets that meme culture, that meme humor that we grew up with. And I introduced him to old Greg, and like we just shout old Greg quotes from like across the office.
I
at
had
each
no
other.
idea who it was. My buddy Paul was like, "Who do you want to draft?" And I was like, "I think it's going to be Guyton." He's like, "I like Guyton because he looks like old Greg." I said, "Who the fuck is old Greg?" And he sent me a picture of them by each other.
You don't know old Greg?
I do now, like up till 2 weeks ago.
Oh my god!
He sent me a couple YouTube videos, and I was like, "Oh my god, that looks just like Tyler Guyton." Anyway, he gave up 0 sacks. Hold on, I was itching my eyeball. He gave up 0 sacks and 9 hurries. He looks to replace Hall of Famer Tyron Smith at left tackle. Guyton remains a project at left tackle, starting just 1 game at his position last season. This is why I found it challenging to give him a higher grade. Okay, well, it's not my grade, but whoever wrote this article. Second round, pick 56, we had Marshawn Nealand. Oh, my eyes itching, dude. I got allergies so bad. He's an edge rusher. They gave it that draft grade was a B. Standing at 6'3", 237 pounds, Marshawn Nealon had an outstanding showing at the Combine, proving to be one of the most athletic edge rushers coming out of this year's draft. With 12.5 sacks and 28 tackles for losses over 37 games at Western Michigan, Nealon is more of a run stopper than a pass rusher. Given his athletic ability, he can develop into an elite pass rusher, considering he'll be learning behind Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence.
And can we go back to Guyton real quick? I have full faith in the Cowboys drafting pretty much in the first round, but I especially
Lineman. Yeah.
offensive linemen.
Yeah. Oh, we hit that every time.
Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyron, Smith.
Even still, I mean, before last year, but we got him undrafted. So
Yeah,
to find a starting tackle at undrafted, yeah, that's their bread and butter, or whatever saying you want to use there.
Yeah,
They're really good at that.
they have my total faith. And somebody else I really value their opinion is Brian Baldinger.
Mm-hmm.
Baldy's breakdowns. He was so high on Guyton. He's going to be as a rookie. He's going to make a Pro Bowl.
6'8", 327. When he gets his hands on you,
well, and he's athletic.
Yeah.
His feet are like what Baldy said. His feet was just what sets him apart.
that's the only thing. I was like, if he's going to be that good, if his ceiling's that high, why is he there at 29 though? I mean, that feels like that's like a top 15 pick. A starting left tackle
like a Joe
that?
Alt pick.
Yeah, Joe Alt went like number 7 though.
Was it 7? Yeah, it was 7.
Pretty sure it was really early.
Or not 8. We'll get to the Falcons. Falcons were 8. I have some shit on fucking Falcons.
That quarterback run of 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks was so fucking
And then there
weird.
wasn't another one until Spencer Rattler in the fucking 5th round. Which, by the way, finish with the Cowboys. I've got opinions on Rattler and.
Well, this is my favorite pick. 3rd round, pick 73. We got Cooper. Is it BB?
BB, my dog.
They gave that an A+.
Dude, I can't.
That's my fucking guy.
He's gonna be a center, and he's just gonna fucking maul people.
That's exactly what you want. He's so fucking mean and nasty.
Gonna maul people.
Dude, watch out for this guy. So they gave this an A+. This is the guy we got by trading down, by the way, right? This was our Detroit Lions pick that we got. The Cowboys hit a home run with this selection. At 6'3", 322 pounds, Cooper BB won back-to-back Big 12 Lineman of the Year awards, along with first-team All-American honors. In the 3rd round, we got this fucking guy. BB will likely start at the center position next season. He also provides excellent depth, playing at left tackle, left guard, and right tackle in 4 seasons, starting for Kansas State. 4-year starter. Fucking love that pick, dude. I'm so stoked about that. That's when you know we're just football nerds. Like a 3rd round offensive lineman is getting me hard right now.
Jizzing ourselves.
Yeah. You want me to keep going, or you want to?
I'm just gonna. I'm a nerd. I'm a uniform and number nerd, so I have all their numbers. They released all their what numbers they have. So when you're done, I can run through the numbers.
3rd round, pick 87.
Maris
Lafua. He's a linebacker from Notre Dame. I don't know, man. They gave this one B, and I was a big Peyton Wilson fan. That's who I really wanted with this pick, and he went
super out on him. Old boy from Carolina who's retired, Luke Kuechly.
Oh, well, if Luke Kuechly endorses him, what the fuck?
Peyton Wilson.
One of the greatest linebackers of all time. Yep. Yeah, and he ended up going to Pittsburgh. So the Cowboys have been atrocious stopping the run over the last 3 seasons, and linebacker was a must in this year's draft. At 6'2", 234 pounds, Lafua has the length, strength, and speed to turn into an elite run stopper for years to come. As the 133rd ranked prospect according to ESPN, I would have liked to see the Cowboys trade back rather than select him. But we also have, what's his name, Marshawn Overshone?
Yeah, he's
that his first
Overshone.
name?
Marshawn Overshone. Yeah. He's
that almost rhymes. Did I just make that up?
No, and he's coming.
And
back,
this is like his rookie year.
And it's
essentially.
he was out. I think he got hurt the 2nd or 3rd preseason game. So this is essentially another draft pick who I'm really high on.
That's what I'm saying. So we basically got 2 new linebackers coming in, and Peyton Wilson, as much as I love him, he was
Was he a hurt guy?
He was a hurt guy.
Yeah.
He had an ACL and MCL in high school.
And I'm glad we stayed away from that because we've had too much of that at the linebacker.
Okay, but
specifically at the linebacker spot.
I feel like late 3rd, it's different than taking Jalen, top 5 in the 2nd round, 35th pick overall. That's a big difference.
Yeah, no, you're right. But still, it would be a hurt guy in the linebacker court. So.
You're right. We did not have a 4th-round pick because that's how we got Trey Lance, who they declined his 5th-year option on. So I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. Like, what's the point of that? Unless, well, the 5th-year option was probably insane, right? To be a number 3 overall pick. So actually, I get that because I bet that option was insanely high. And they're like, hey, you're more of like a $4 million a year or whatever guy. I don't know. But it's not whatever he was about to get paid. He was about to get a lot of money. So 5th round, pick 174, Kalen Carson. Cornerback from Wake Forest. Says he's an explosive athlete and a great tackler considering his position. At 6 foot, 199 pounds, Carson uses his speed and physicality to break up passes and often makes an impact defending the run. So a lot of these guys, they keep talking about how they're a lot of run stoppers, which is something we've been atrocious at.
And we got to remember Mike Zimmer. He's going to get the guys to play. I
really like that hire. I know we talked about that last time, but I think that was a great replacement for Dan Quinn, as much as I love Quinn.
Yep.
If Carson struggles to earn the snaps at center next season, if Carson struggles to earn snaps at center next season, Carson's effort, physicality, and speed will earn him a spot on a special teams unit. So in the 5th round, like they said, you're always just looking for traits and special teamers at that point. 6th round, pick 216, Ryan Flournoy, who, okay, this one they gave him a D+, but I've seen others where this was an A. So that's such a weird discrepancy. Like CBS, who I was looking at before, were giving this guy an A.
Yeah.
As just the second, so he went to SEMU, which is Southeast Missouri. Player to participate in the Senior Bowl, Ryan, not even going to say his last name, had just 2 targets, finished the game with 1 catch for 13 yards and a 5-yard run. At 24, so that is kind of an old rookie. Ryan, I'm not going to say his last name.
Flournoy.
It's really not that hard when you say it out loud, but it's spelled weird. Flournoy. At 24 years old, Flournoy is 6'1", 202 pounds with a 40-yard dash. He is a great athlete and will be competing to make the roster in spring training or training camp. I think this pick would have been better spent on a defensive back, but we just took one of those in the last round. So I think it's good. That's really the only offensive weapon we took in the whole draft. People would have been even more mad at us if we didn't make an offensive weapon pick. They're showing this because that's Caitlin Clark's game.
And look, the wings. The wings got
That's
him.
us. Clipped by the wings, baby.
Clipped by the wings.
We had, 2 more?
Yeah, Nathan Thomas.
Yeah, 7th round pick 233, Nathan Thomas, offensive tackle from Louisiana. Louisiana's been putting out some decent offensive linemen, too. They gave this a C+, but, I mean, really just adding depth here. After losing 2 starters on the offensive line in free agency, the Cowboys made it their mission to replace them. Nathan Thomas is 6'5", 332 pounds, and is extremely quick for his size. His overall size and athleticism can diminish every move an edge rusher throws at him. So, I mean, 7th round pick, that's pretty high praise.
Yeah. Can we go back to the Flournoy thing? I think the only reason I didn't like the pick is I just wanted a little excitement, and yeah, it's the pedigree and it's the name. Brendan Rice was out there, and I think he had talked about going to Dallas. And I think somebody brought up him going to Dallas. And he said he would love to play with Dak and CD.
He went to USC,
He went to USC. I don't know. Maybe
but
just because of the pedigree.
If his name wasn't Rice, would we still take him?
No. But
and the Flournoy, I kept seeing stuff about how he's like a back shoulder fade, like mini, like how they were comparing him to kind of Dez in those little goal line back shoulder fades, physical go up and get the ball. So when I saw that, I was like, well, as a late pick,
Dak doesn't throw that ball real well though. No. I mean, he's gotten better at it, but
yeah, you're right.
You couldn't make it work with Dez. Who you can make?
We're gonna have to have multiple segments coming up about what to do with Dak.
You let him go.
I think so.
You let him go. You don't pay him.
After 8 years, I don't. Yeah, and we got to pay everyone else, which I don't know what they're waiting for. Pay CD, pay Micah,
Trey Lance.
Why not? If you let him walk and you pay this guy literally 1/10 of that pay, why not give it a shot? And if it doesn't work, hey, guess what? We got a top 10 pick.
Yeah,
we can pair that with another pick to trade up if we want somebody.
Yeah, I mean. Anyway, so
all right, last one, 7th round, pick 244. We got Justin Rogers, a defensive tackle from Auburn. I guess I wasn't saying all the other colleges they went to, was I?
Yeah, you hit them all. Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Well, not Lou Fowl. He was a Notre Dame guy. He was a Notre Dame guy.
So this is a C+ on the grade. It becomes very difficult to find an impact player this late in the draft, but Justin Rogers has very good upside. Rogers stands 6'3", 330 pounds. Starting just 7 games in a senior season, Rogers recorded 17 tackles and a sack. His overall size will take up blockers, making room for linebackers and edge rushers. Overall grade, they gave the Cowboys a B. The Cowboys came into this draft with a couple of goals in mind: to fill their needs and to become tougher in the trenches. The Cowboys did that, adding 3 players to their offensive line and 2 in the defense. They also addressed their needs at linebacker and defensive back, drafting players with success in college and potential in the NFL. So I mean, overall, I was good with it. I was hoping to get maybe just a running back here or there, but they started going off the board really quick. And when they make a run on a position like that, I mean, you could have 5 gone in the next 10 or 12 picks, and I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah, it did. It didn't fall.
Because they really wanted Jonathan Brooks in the second round.
Yeah,
that was, I feel like, Jerry's dream situation.
Yeah. And it didn't fall that way. So
he went to Carolina, who obviously needs a running back, so that was a great fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with the draft. I mean, I love the Guyton pick. I love the BB pick. I love the
BB pick.
I'm okay with Leofau, or however you say his name. I'm okay with that. They did release the numbers, so Tyler Guyton will be 60.
That was his college number, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of a weird number.
Marshawn Nealon, they gave 94, which is a big deal. D-Ware.
That just tells
Charles
you how much
Haley.
they feel about him.
Yeah. Cooper Beebe will be 56. Maris Leofau is 35. Kalen Carson, number 41. Ryan Flournoy is 19. Nathan Thomas, 62. And Justin Rogers, 96. So,
Did you see Zeke's numbers? And everyone's
15.
They were like, yeah, Jerry's going to make you buy a new jersey. Ain't nobody buying that fucking Zeke 15 jersey.
Nope.
Only a fucking idiot would buy that jersey. And if you're listening to this, I appreciate you listening.
And it says, it may be puzzling to see Leofau be given number 35. Given that last year's third-round linebacker, it's DeMarvion Overshown.
What did I say?
I don't remember, but I agreed with you.
Yeah, and I was like, I even tell you,
That's totally right.
I don't think I said that right.
Was wearing that number when we last saw him. In case you did not know, he switched to 13 because Michael Gallup, who was 13, is with the Raiders now. Other news, because I didn't need to say it or I'll forget it. OBJ signed with the Dolphins today.
I saw that. That was pretty random, but
I kind of thought we might make that happen. Jerry just.
I guess depending on the money, he couldn't have gotten much.
$8 million.
I would have done that.
Yeah.
I'm a millionaire. I can do that.
Yeah. So Overshown is switching to 13.
You said to Gallup, he went to the Raiders, right? Did you say that?
He went to the Raiders. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Jalen Tolbert is going to number 1, and Damone Clark is going to 18, which he wore at LSU, which is apparently a big deal at LSU per this article. So yeah, I'm kind of a numbers nerd, and I'm always interested to see what numbers rookies are going to wear.
Given Nealon 94 is kind of a big deal. That's like putting a lot of pressure on him,
and especially with him being a pass rush specialist, like when he's like a
more of an edge guy,
more of an edge guy.
Well, I was thinking he's got to be D-Ware's a potential replacement, or not D-Ware, D-Law.
Yeah,
I mean, why else? Because Parsons on the other side, Sam Williams we got a couple years ago. He's an edge rusher, but I'm okay with fresh legs when it comes to edge rushers.
Yeah.
I guess Mike is the one that's kind of always there trying to eat, but to rotate other guys. And as much as I love D-Law, he is getting older, and he's never been like that double-digit sack guy. But at the same time, he's got to be like, what is in the 10th year, which in football is like about to be past your time.
Ancient, yeah. All right, can we get into some questionable picks here?
Yeah.
So the big obvious one, right, is Penix to Atlanta.
Who just spent $180 million on a quarterback.
But I kind of get it.
He's also like 24.
He's 24.
That's an old-ass rookie.
I kind of get it.
I don't know. You think he'll be good?
No.
Okay, so why do you get it if you don't think he'll be good?
Because Cousins is coming off an Achilles, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's 30, whatever. I get the pick. Would I do it at 8?
I don't do it.
No.
That's what I'm saying. At
But
that point, you could have really added a weapon. You could have had a top
receiver.
Well, I guess it would have been third because Malik Napers already went and Harrison already went. You could have had a still a top receiver, a top lineman, a weapon. You know what I mean? And that's what was confusing me.
In
it's
a
like
weird, twisted, really narrow vision, I can see why they did it. Is it the right guy? No, because I think Spencer Rattler is probably going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. That's probably not a popular
That's
opinion.
a hot take.
It's probably not a popular opinion.
And where did he go again?
He started in Oklahoma.
No, you get drafted by New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Hey, good for them.
Yeah, and I've got thoughts on that. But another one, another questionable pick. My biggest questionable call of the whole first round was what fucking Buffalo did. You're sitting there needing a receiver. And not only, okay, you trade out, cool. You trade it to your fucking boogeyman.
The team that you can't beat.
The team that you can't beat who also needs a receiver, and they end up with Xavier Worthy.
Who ran like a 4.22 or something.
I think like the second fastest 40 time ever.
So now all they got to say is, I mean, he's their new Tyreek.
He's
Just throw it up there and let him go catch it.
Xavier's down there somewhere.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all it is. And then
just chunk it up
and then they get to 32, still needing a receiver. They trade out of it just for Carolina to come in and fucking draft a receiver, which is Leggett, who we wanted because of his accent. The dude from South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is that who Carolina took?
Yeah, because he's from South Carolina.
I was going to say, man, good for him.
Yeah.
He was just saying, like, his whole
home.
family can come. That guy, based on his voice alone, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hall of Fame voice.
Hall of Fame.
So that's probably the Bills, like, what the fuck?
I feel like that was a
Josh
talking
Allen,
point.
and especially after losing Diggs.
And Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
They lost both of their only two legit
I bet
receivers.
fucking Josh Allen was like fucking pissed.
Josh Allen's about to run for 15 rushing touchdowns.
So yeah, but piggybacking off that, I think CBS Sports is smoking crack because this is a list of all the questionable pick for every team. And the Chiefs, they picked Xavier Worthy was their questionable call.
I mean, that was a pretty good pick.
So it says
fastest guy in the draft.
Kansas City did a nice job adding value over the course of those 3 days. There was a little issue with any of their selections, but Worthy carries the most risk. The history of the NFL Combine speedsters translating to quality professionals is bleak. The Texas product weighed in at just 165 pounds, which is a massive outlier in a league built on size and power. But I mean, if you can't catch him, what does it matter? Tyreek can play it. This kid can play it.
Yeah, that's what I say. He's the new Tyreek, and it's a proven formula to just chunk it up there and let him go get it.
So another one that was weird, just because of the Jets picking Jordan Travis, quarterback out of Florida State, picked him in the 5th round.
See, I don't care.
I'm okay with that.
I don't care what you take at the 5th. That's just a flyer.
Yeah, CBS gave him a weird grade for that.
I thought that was a good pick. He was pretty fucking good. He led him to undefeated.
But Bo Nix at 12.
No, that's stupid.
What? I mean, I know Sean Payton is Sean Payton or was Sean Payton. We don't know that he's still Sean Payton. But that's just kind of fucking – he's 20 – again, an old guy, a 23, 24-year-old guy. It was just kind of weird. A weird pick. I think that was kind of all the questionable picks. I'm interested to see who they chose. Okay, CBS shows the Cowboys' questionable pick is Maris Leafau. So
yeah,
they said that was our questionable pick.
And I was too at a point, but you got Overshown's coming back, and they said this guy plays with his hair on fire, that he's just like one of those guys that's a good team player. I feel like he's going to be one of the hardest workers. He might be a special teamer for a year or two, but yeah, I could talk myself into it. Like I said, give me a big, fast Samoan guy at linebacker who's just going to fucking hit somebody.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I talked myself into it because I was so pro Peyton Wilson. And then when we took him, I was like, okay, well, obviously they know what they're doing. You learn more about them, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to give this kid a shot.
The fuck?
Idiots in cowboy hats.
Yeah,
and bolo ties.
Yeah, but they have fucking more money than Jesus. Oddly enough,
just got off the oil fields of West Texas.
They have oil on them. But what's weird is CBS said for the Saints, they don't have any issue with any of their 7 draft choices.
Perfect draft.
They answered needs. They took Oregon State offensive tackle Talise Fuaga, which is he's going to be fucking good for 15 years. They took Kool-Aid McKinstry.
I think this offensive lineman draft class is going to look back. We're going to be like, there's like 4 Hall of Famers in this draft class for offensive linemen. Because I think the thing about the same with Joe Alt that you were saying about Mola Tafu Fulamo.
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
Yeah, you're close.
I think Joe Alt's going to be that guy too, like a 15-time Pro Bowler, like 6-time All-Pro, All-Decades team. Like I think he's just going to be a stud.
Dude, CBS sucks. Like, they said the Vikings' questionable pick was a 6th-round kicker. Like, it's a 6th-round kicker.
At that point, the Bears took a punter in the 4th round.
He's Australian. He's an Aussie.
Okay, and I heard
that was a cool draft call with the Aussie dude.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that. They made a joke about making an Englishman or something, making a pick about a punter. What is a punter in soccer terms? Because they said something about a baby reindeer too. Because Rich Eisen was like, "Oh, that was real slick of them to make an Englishman or an Aussie say something about a punter." And then on episode 4 of Baby Reindeer, when he's doing those jokes in that pub, they say something about a punter.
Oh,
I
don't know. Anyway,
I stumped the Schwab.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, for real. That was a good show, man.
Dude, I credit that dude for like a good chunk of my random sports knowledge.
I love how he just sat there. All these people asking questions, he'd be like, he'd get it right. He'd be like, fuck you, you can't stump the Schwab. He had his own show. You know how fucking good you have to be to get your own show of people trying to debunk your knowledge?
He was a fucking sports historian.
Yeah,
and a
he was
researcher.
like an encyclopedia.
That's what he did.
What a cool guy.
Going back to the Rattler pick, I don't know if you watched the show on Netflix, QB1.
Yeah, I feel like, jeez, big dunk there by Gafford.
That was a good pickup. That was a good trade.
That and PJ Washington, that changed the team.
I like the PJ Washington when I think it was game 1 or 2 and there was like a scuffle.
Oh,
and
he stood on him.
Yeah.
But back to Rattler, that's what I heard. That he was kind of but he was being an 18-year-old. You know what I mean? Everyone's a fucking idiot.
There was a quote out there. There were a lot of GMs were put off by that
video that's 4 years old.
Him in a show when he was 18. Now I watched all the seasons of QB1, and I hated Spencer Rattler.
Was he a big douchebag?
He was a fucking douchebag.
Was it just like
arrogant? Treated his teammates like shit. He didn't get to finish his senior season because of some kind of like something that went down, like behavior wise. Like I can't remember.
Was a shithead.
He was a shithead. I didn't like him when he went to Oklahoma, but you know what? I liked him when he went to South Carolina because he went to South Carolina. He shut the fuck up and he just played football. And the kid has the arm. He can make any throw. He's got crazy fucking arm talent. I really think he may turn out in 5, 6, 7 years to be the best out of this group because
I wouldn't be surprised. It's a weird.
I don't like Drake May. I don't like
Caleb Williams. Daniels. Is such a mystery, though.
Is gonna fall on his fucking face,
or he's gonna win an MVP. I don't know.
Or he'll. I don't.
He's got he's coming into a situation where like that team's pretty well stacked though.
I like the Roma dude.
And they got DJ Moore, and they traded for Keelan Allen. He's throwing to those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're saying. Usually when you're the first overall pick, you're going to a real shithill team. Like, his team's already pretty stacked, at least on offense.
But he's still going to face the same problem that Justin Fields had, and there's nobody to block.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought that.
Shit line.
What's his name? Roma.
Odunze.
I told my buddy who's from Chicago and a big fan, I was like, y'all should take that Penn State guy who I also can't say his name because it's even more ridiculous. You know? I was like, they were like teammates in high school, and even Caleb Williams was like, this is who I want to block for me, to block my blind side. And I was like, pick this guy up, and you'll still have 2 legit wide receivers. But I mean, I can't be mad about, giving your quarterback another weapon, but I was like, yeah, who's going to block for him?
Yeah.
He's going to have to get the ball out in like 3 seconds every time.
And you still got to read defenses, and I don't know. I think he's, I don't know.
He's different.
He's different. I don't even care about the lip gloss and the nail polish. It was the shit at USC, like, losing and going and crying to his mom. And
then there's all these rumors about how he wanted partial ownership of whatever team drafted him. And I don't think that was real. Was that real, though? There's no fucking way that he would say that.
And there's no telling if we'll never know if it was real. But, yeah, the draft was last week. And I was, kind of telling Lauren, like, hey, Thursday and Friday, I'm not really doing much around the house. I was like, it's mine and Andrew's, like, favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, y'all can get the fuck out of here if you want.
I like that tweet. I like that text you sent me. You were like, yeah, if I can just get these fucking people out of my house. I was like, dude, you got people over? He's like, yeah, I'm fucking wife and kids.
Yeah. I was like, I'll give you money right now if you just go somewhere.
Just go. But, yeah, so that's the draft.
Well, next year we should do like a round 1 live coverage.
Yeah, that's
or it's just like a 3-hour show, and we're just like, oh, next on the clock, and we can just do our show in between picks, like Mount Rushmores and other segments that we just talk in between.
Yeah, we're gonna do fucking breakdown of the players.
Because first round, we'll know, most of these guys. Like when it gets, I told Claire's like when it gets like 5th, 6th round, like I'll have it on, but I'm not glued to it. Unless I watched NFL Network and they showed the little ticker at the bottom, like, all right, Cowboys picking 13 picks, like we can go do something.
Right.
We'll go outside and play, and I'll just come back in 20 minutes and I'll watch this pick.
Right.
So yeah, when it gets down later rounds like that, like there might be a handful of guys that you recognize, and I'm just waiting for the Cowboys to pick at that point.
Yeah, me too. All right, so we want to get into what we've been watching because your boy, who usually doesn't have much on this front, I watched some stuff.
We'll take it over.
So you mentioned it, and I texted you and Alex about it. I started Baby Reindeer. It's on Netflix. It's kind of just a sensation now. Like it's
one of those shows that's taken over.
Number 1 on Netflix. It's like you said, it was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't give much credence to that site because
I do when I agree with them.
Yeah.
When I'm like, oh, that movie was really good, and it got 14%. Oh, what the fuck do they know? That was a good movie.
So
it's up to it's still at 97. Yeah. So it's not going to tank. Like it's probably going to stay level there.
It's probably going to plateau.
Yeah, it's going to plateau in like a high 90s, which is fantastic.
So I started it last Saturday night at about 12:30 with Lauren.
12:30 at night.
Hold on. So we started it, and we were like, we'll watch one episode because we were both up. We were babysitting Knox here. You met earlier.
Yeah, he's eating gummy bears.
Yeah, he's getting
gummy worms. Hell yeah.
So we were watching him, and his mom got off at like midnight or whatever. And so by the time she came and got him, and we were up, because we were laying down with him, and we both kind of nodded off. So when she got up, we took him out, whatever, made the exchange, and so we were up. I was like, hey, you want to? Because I told her about it, and I was like, you want to start the show? She's like, yeah. So she stayed up through. She was pretty much done at the end of episode 1. She'd pretty much fallen asleep, and then by that point, I was hooked. I stayed up till like 5:20 in the morning. I finished the whole thing because I was fucking hooked.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
It's a good show to end an episode, start an episode.
I could not turn it off. It was, and like I told you earlier, I'm not a big movie guy. We've discussed my movie taste at great length on this podcast, throughout the episodes. I'm very much a turn your brain off. Like I want to see some explosions. I want to see the bad guy, fucking the assassin kill all the dudes and then get the girl. I like that. I think it's one of the best things I've seen in a long, long time. It was really good, and it's a stalker story. The guy who created it, it actually happened to him, and then he's reliving it and telling it to us by acting and starring in it. And it's just the casting was great. I don't know if you've seen
the lady who's playing Martha is fantastic because she is like lovable and crazy at the same time.
You feel bad. You
and that
end
too.
Up feeling bad for her and sympathizing with her, just like Donnie does in the show.
Yeah, that's kind of how he justifies it. He's like, I could see that she was probably hurt when she was younger. Kind of neglected, but never taken on a date or always picked last for shit.
He kind of keeps himself, in this mess a little bit, but I thought it was fantastic, and so. Now, like internet sleuths just can't leave it alone, so they've posted pictures of who the real Martha is.
Oh no!
And they've speculated on who the
guy from
the industry 4. Guy.
Yeah, that's the one we just watched. So we just finished episode 4.
That was a hard one to watch. Man.
That was the one that has a warning at the beginning, and like a hotline at the end. Is all you got to know.
Yep.
And what is there 6 or 7? Because I think
7.
Yeah, I told Claire, I was like, I think there's only a few more left.
Yeah.
We watched 3 last night. We watched 1 today, and of course, we're eating dinner today. Like watching TV, watching this as we eat, and like Elizabeth's right there.
That's the worst one.
And there were certain parts where I'm like, "Hey, how was school today? What's up?
What's that over there?
Yeah, look what's happening over there."
So yeah, I watched that, and I thought, like I said, it was just fantastic.
I think the world's agreeing with you because it's one of those shows that like Tiger King or Making a Murder. When Netflix has it, and you're like, this is a fucking hit. Everyone's going to talk about it. This is like a big deal.
Yeah. Have you seen like his? Oh, okay, I won't spoil it because you haven't got to that point
Nuh-uh.
yet, so I'll bring it up to you when you finish. The other one I saw, the other thing I watched, something that we were both really excited for. You saw it, I think, in theaters right after it, right when it came out or right after it left theaters. I just saw it was a Little Things with.
Yeah, I saw it at the house because that's when post COVID when HBO had that deal with Warner Brothers. We're like, hey, as soon as it comes out, like we'll put it on our platform.
Right.
So I watched it pretty quick.
So it had
It was a little underwhelming.
Yeah, it had.
It didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad movie.
No.
We just hyped it up so much.
Because it had Denzel, it had my dude Remy Malek, and it had fucking Jared Leto.
That's like 3 Oscar winners right there.
Jared Leto, I think he was kind of born for that role. Like, he played it so well.
That guy's weird, man.
Dude.
He's like, he literally has like a cult.
Yes. He's got that cult leader,
No, he literally is.
Oh, is he?
He's like a cult leader. You
Is
didn't
he?
know that? Yeah, I'll
No.
show you I'll show you a video after this.
Fuck yeah.
Man, it's fucking weird.
So yeah, it was really good. I liked the kind of mechanics of it because like you get those little bits and pieces throughout the movie of like why Denzel's character was like at the LA County Sheriff, and they're like, oh, he's a bad dude, don't hitch your wagon to that guy, blah blah blah, and then you kind of see at the end like why. Remember the pathologist was like, you
It
could
was
tell
like 3 years ago. So
well, there was, the pathologist, like you could tell like something had happened between them, and she made a comment like, "I'm not going to save your ass again." And then remember, it shows
like some shady cop work.
where he shot the victim or whatever because he thought he didn't know, and he had shot the victim, the other missing woman.
Mm-hmm.
He had shot her by accident. The pathologist covered it up, took the bullet out, and that's why she was wearing that slug on her bracelet.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because it's the slug that they pulled, and the chief or whatever from the LA County Sheriff was in the room too, and that's why at the end you find out what all this tension is regarding why he left, why the sergeant or whoever the chief was there was like, don't hit your wagon to this guy, blah blah blah. So I like that mechanic of like you are wondering the entire movie like why are they treating him this way? Why? And then at the end it all kind of wraps up.
Good movies answer these questions that they propose.
Yeah.
Some I hate movies that'll they'll never address it again. But when things come full circle like that, and like and they let you connect the dots, that's a good film.
And now that I'm thinking back on it, I think I did like the movie more than I do.
Well, now
I like
that I'm thinking about it, I think I need to rewatch it.
I like it more now because like it's tearing Remy Malek's character apart, like not knowing, like because they think Jared Leto's the guy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you just can't prove it, but it's like
knows,
he's the fucking guy.
Denzel knows, he thinks he knows he's not the guy, and then there's a red beret that was on one of the victims, and he gives a red beret to Remy Malek's character at the end, like in an envelope. And then at the very end, he's burning all the evidence from Jared Leto's house, and he pulls out the packet of barrettes that had the red one missing, which was what he gave to Remy Malek to give him peace of mind, because it's going to eat him alive, just like what happened to Denzel's character ate him alive.
Yeah,
and that's where you get the quote, "Oh, it's the little things that'll get you." So I don't know. I think I like it more now.
The way you're talking about it, I want to rewatch it.
I think I like it more now
just
than I did.
underwhelmed because I was like, "Oh, this movie's going to be like nominated for Oscars."
Yeah, me too.
And it wasn't. So I was like,
Yeah.
I guess it's not good.
Yeah.
But for what it is, it's a solid movie.
I
I just felt like we hyped it up so much
because of who was
between
in it.
the two of us
Yeah.
that when it wasn't like a top 10 movie of all time, we didn't think it was good.
Because it checked all our boxes, right? It had a great cast. It's that true crime itch that
it was really like the perfect movie for us.
Yeah.
And we still got to go see Civil War.
Yeah, I want to. I want to.
The times are just weird because I checked it and it was 5:40 and I was like, man, that's gonna be right at the border when he gets home. But if there's like a 6:15, 6:30, it should be no problem.
Yeah,
it's right in the sweet spot.
We can go get dollar glizzies, bro.
Oh man, we're gonna get all the glizzies. We're gonna shut that place down,
dude. I'm gonna have a pocket full of glizzies.
I'm gonna have a pocket full of M&Ms. I usually stuff them in my sock right here, and I walk in real discreet.
Dude, and they get kind of melty, and so they
they kind of break that seal.
Hell yeah. So the last thing I watched was Quiet on the Set.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was rough. It wasn't as much as I thought. Dan Schneider was going to be more of a creep than what he was, but
he's still pretty creepy.
He's pretty creepy, but I thought it was going to be some.
He wasn't like
molesting.
Yeah, it was the other two that were like actually, you know, physically assaulting these people, whereas he was just like putting him in a weird situation. But again, like we talked about before we came on, it's like control.
Yeah.
Like he was able to get them to approve this from Nickelodeon and be like, no, we're going to do this weird shit.
We're going to do this.
And I told Claire, I was like, you know, there's directors, there's writers, there's cameramen, there's like PA assistants. I was like, everyone was watching this. They're like, y'all not seeing this shit? Like, it looks like that thing just jizzed all over this 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get the undertones here, and we're going to let this slide, and it's going to air on Disney or Nickelodeon.
And it's crazy.
But he was a hit maker, you know? He was their little fat golden boy.
Yeah, and really, he turned out to be more of a misogynist and just treating his employees like fucking shit.
Yeah, the whole hiring two writers and paying them one salary.
Two women writers and paying them the salary.
And that's why Stephen Curry was like, they didn't think that was weird. But then again, you know, you got to think that's their foot in the door, and it's a hard industry. That's why it's like, it's so fucking tough, man. When you look at this, you're like, people, especially guys, are such pieces of shit.
And it's crazy, like that. You know, they focused on Drake Bell, I think his name is.
Yeah.
There at the end, and you know, he got it bad, and
but he had a situation where he was fucking with a minor too, which was weird.
And I was trying to wonder that when I was watching it, but I didn't want to like Google it while I was watching it. And so I looked it up after. And I was like, I don't. I mean, obviously, I feel for you, but you can't do that and then
you can't be a victim and then perpetrator like within like 10 years.
Yeah,
so it's hard to have that sympathy, but
yeah. But so that's what I watched.
We watched that, so that was on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I still call it. I'm not just gonna call it Max. It's HBO.
It's HBO. Yeah, and then what I'm listening to, I'm just still powering through books. Mm-hmm. I'm on the last book of a 25 book set.
Jesus.
That's
lucky too that you can get all 25 like that. Because I started Bond, and I was like, they have 1, 4, 9, and I'm like, this is James Bond. How do they not have all these?
I need to get back on my game, and I need to.
We need LA County, or I'm sorry, LA Public.
Yeah,
that's like the holy grail of libraries.
I need to create another account and make another, get another card.
Because I still got all these books on hold from LA Public, and it's like, oh, your holds or your book's ready, but it won't let me check it out. So I just said, okay, well, just hold it for another 28 days, and I'll revisit it when I get more information.
Yeah.
But yeah, LA Public, man, they have everything.
I need to get back on my game and just get on the computer and make a couple fake accounts and get some library cards to these big ones. Because the thing is, they want you to kind of confirm your account. I made like legit like spam accounts that you use one time, and I don't know if I should be putting this in the public, but we're talking library cards here.
I was like, it's public libraries. Like, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just reading, trying to get some books.
I just want to read.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been good. This 24th or 5th book, whatever it is, it was released this year. So after I'm done with this one, it's done until 2020. End? No. So
he's gonna keep going
until he writes his next one.
Like, you're just caught up with the author.
And now what's cool is now it's been enough time, or it's in the writing cycle of some previous series the Mitch Rapp series. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he's got a new book out.
I thought that guy did.
His son, somebody, not his son, but somebody picked it up.
Like a ghostwriter?
Like he gave his blessing for this guy to pick up the series.
He knew he was on his way out?
He had cancer.
Oh, shit.
So he knew he was on his way out, and he gave this guy, he handpicked this
and
dude.
see, that's one where I need to start at the beginning, because I'm like, if I'm going to start a series, I'm not jumping into book 4.
And this one, you can't, because there's shit that goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a big dork, and I'm like, if they mention Jerry one time, I got to know Jerry's whole story.
I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way.
So it's like, I've really wanted to start that, but I had trouble finding them, so I guess I just need to.
The Mitch Rapp one has a new book, and one of the other ones has a new book out. So those are two that I get to continue the series on. But I got to find my next series now. And I don't know why I like series. I don't know if I haven't tried it yet, but I don't see myself like picking like a one-off. Like I like the continuity, and I like getting to know like the characters. Because like in this Joe Pickett series, like in the first book, I think he was like 30 something. Now he's like in his 50s, and like he's got 3 daughters. You get to see his daughters grow up, and like now his daughters have like their own stuff, and I don't know. It's just really good, and I like the continuity of a series.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that's everything for me.
Well, we watched Baby Reindeer. We started it, haven't finished it.
So good.
Only other show, it's a sci-fi show on Netflix, Resident Alien.
I saw that and I thought about.
I don't know what it is about it, man, but I fucking like that show so much. So I finally found something that Claire hates more than donating charity for dying children, and that's the actor named like Alan Tudyk.
Mm-hmm.
Something spelled weird. There's like a Y in there. Who I looked up. He's from Plano. Went to Plano High.
Yeah,
which is really fucking cool.
He was the pirate guy in Dodgeball.
Yeah, I was like, he's that guy where you're like, I've seen that guy in 100 things.
You don't know.
He's fantastic in this show, though. He really is. But Claire walks in at the weirdest moments. She's like, this show is so stupid. And I'm like, Claire, shut the fuck up and get out of here. Like, you just don't get it.
Sorry.
It's such a good show.
Kyrie Irving has 15 points in the third quarter. Or maybe 17 points in the third quarter.
And currently we're up 15 with 37 seconds left in the third.
Let's go ahead and fucking close this out, boys.
Yeah, and if we close this out, we get OKC next round. And I feel pretty fucking good about that matchup.
Yeah.
Because we avoid Denver and Minnesota, who are scary,
And they can
good
slug
teams.
it out.
About Resident Alien, though, like my mom and both my sisters both love that show. So it's like we're in a group chat with just us girls talking about Resident Alien.
Nice.
Listening to, these are the books I've listened to since we've last recorded. I'll just give you the titles. I'm not really going to, I might tell you like two that I think, listeners might like. One's called Republic of Lies, Americans' Conspiracy Theorist and Their Surprising Rise to Power. Chasing the Boogeyman, not very good. If It Bleeds, which is
good.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. If It Bleeds is a Stephen King. It was like one of those novellas where he does like 4 stories in one book.
Right.
And it had the Holly Gibney character that was from her. Her story was called If It Bleeds. It was kind of like a sequel to The Outsider, if anyone's read The Outsider. And next week, Monday, I'm very excited. There's a new book he wrote. Because he talked about how Holly's like one of his favorite characters of all time now. She was supposed to just be like this little bit character in Mr. Mercedes. And he's like, I forgot his quote, but it's like basically like she's won my heart and she's like my favorite person now. So she has her own book called Holly. And I've read it, or I've read the, whatever it's called, synopsis for it. Sounds fantastic. I can't fucking wait. I'm going to start Holly next week. Murder on the Orient Express. This is the one I really liked right here, was Ringmaster, Vince McMahon and the Unmaking of America. So basically, Vince, we all know he's a piece of shit, and what he's done, it didn't really talk about how he's unmade America, but how he's just kind of like helped shape America as it is now with how he's portrayed his wrestlers, and I don't know. It was really just a biography. It was like a biography of Vince McMahon and the WWF. So that was my favorite one. Next one was called Fascism, A Warning. Then we had Catch and Kill, Lies, Spies, and the Conspiracy to Protect Predators. The NRA, An Unauthorized History. And last one was called American Psychosis, a historical investigation of how the Republican Party went crazy.
Kind of got depressing there at the end.
That's all I listen to, man. This is like really depressing stuff. Claire's not a fan of it, but she can't stop me.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
How long was
a
that?
good one. We're at 2:07.
Okay.
When we said, we got these topics, I was like, this will be a tight 120. No. Here we
Well,
are.
we got 10 minutes where we just talked about this
We're
basketball
watching
game.
TV.
Man, Stars game starting too. We should give you
Oh,
a
it's
scoring alert.
It's already
Get
started.
an alert.
No, but I need to go grab the remote from my child.
Yeah.
When we're done and turn that on because
I need a fart. I've been holding this in for like 20
Why are you
minutes.
holding it in? You know how many
Troy's
farts?
going to turn it off if he hears me fart.
You know how many farts I blasted in here? I've done
On
3
air, though?
Yeah, 3 since we've been recording.
Well, those are still silent boys. This thing's like Bernie Mac's going to run out of the door if he hears
That's
this.
what's cool is I can blame it on him.
Have you noticed? Well, maybe not because this might be personal, but I have the best farts when I first wake up. I told Claire these are like movie star farts.
Yeah,
There's something about it.
yeah. When
I first wake up, I was
get some
like,
good
"Honey,
ones.
you got to record this." I'm like,
This
these
is
should
good.
be this should be like an audio clip from a movie when you,
You
hear
can
a
make
guy fart.
ringtones.
Yeah,
can make
that's what I'm
ringtones.
saying. It's like quality, and I mean, they're just, dude. The things are just.
It's just a thing of beauty.
It should be an audio clip that they play on like a fart machine or in a movie.
So record it and we'll put it in here on the board.
It'd be better than that.
Yeah.
That's like a 4. Okay, I'm rocking 10s.
You're 10s all day.
I'm 10s.
Okay. Well, we'll work on that in between. All right.
Well, we'll do it again soon.
Let's do it again.
We should get a guest on, dude.
Yeah.
We should get somebody in here other than
Well,
Bernie Mac.
We'll talk about it when we get off here. But,
We got to make a friend first.
yeah. All right. thanks you two for listening.
Yeah, love you guys.
For Matt.
Literally 2 guys. I'm Andrew.